underway. Willie Collum, the man in the middle, has blown the whistle. Rangers in the blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops have kicked us off. They're playing from right to left in this first half at Celtic Park towards the Jock Stein stand. Kyogo goes down early on. He was tussling for the ball with Ben Davies in the centre circle and he caught a stray arm in the face. That'll be a free kick for Celtic. Pat, I don't want to miss a minute of the action because I was listening to you and Vicky Sparks at Ibrox last month and Dyson Maida scored in the first minute of this game.
Yeah, and Rangers had a kick-off there. They put it back to the defence and they were chased down this time by Hatate. So Celtic will try to do exactly the same thing again. Well enough, that free kick there when Furuhashi was dragged back. He was dragged back by his throat. Do you know what? In other situations, you never know.
Kyogo plays the ball into Matt O'Reilly. Early Celtic attack. James Forrest on the ball. In form at the moment for Celtic. Heads for the Butland. Crossing hits Butland. Very nearly an own goal. And somehow Jack Butland blocks that ball on the line. Again, in the first minute of the game, Celtic nearly ahead.
Incredible. What a save it is, apart from anything else. James Forrest gets the ball down the right. To some degree, the forgotten man for a while. He's been brilliant recently. Plays a super ball in. Would have been an own goal. Butland just gets a right glove up to it and saves it on the line.
What a season Jack Butland has had for Rangers. What a save that is right at the start of the game. Challenge on Callum McGregor in the centre circle is made by Tom Lawrence. Callum McGregor picks himself up, barks at his opposite number in midfield. Celtic fans incensed. Celtic have taken their free kick quickly, and when we do get the most minute break in play, I'll run you through the two team lineups. Alistair Johnston's knocked over. No foul, says Willie Collum. Rangers into the Celtic half for the first time in the game. The ball is laid into the path of John Lundstrom, who runs into the challenge of Carter Vickers, and that will be a throw-in for Rangers on the left. Dyson Maida, the one change for Celtic today then, from the 3-0 win against Hearts last week. Joe Hart in goal, Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Liam Scales and Greg Taylor, the Celtic back four. Matt O'Reilly and Rio Hatate either side of Callum McGregor. Tavernier's getting away down the right. He's challenged, goes down, no free kick there either. Greg Taylor on the ball for Celtic, plays it back to Scales. His clearance is blocked, the ball spins up in the air. Tavernier takes a touch, Scales gets another chance, blocked by Tavernier, and Celtic finally clear it to the halfway line. James Forrest and Dyson Maida, the wide men, with Kyogo through the middle. And Maida comes in for Nicholas Kuhn for Celtic today, Pat.
Yeah, well, he goes over to the left and we've got James Forrest on the right here. I mean, what a start to this game. Tackles flying everywhere. Willie Collum's letting it flow a little bit just now. At some point you need to calm it down because there's probably been 2 or 3 tackles and some other games would already have got yellow cards, and we've just started 3 minutes into this game. So lively. You
wouldn't expect anything less. Fulham Manchester City underway on the banks of the Thames in the Premier League. Fabio Silva is tackled. Huge roar from the Celtic fans. Here comes Forrest. Forrest looking for Kyogo. Sliding challenge from Ben Davies, and it goes out for a Celtic throw. What a noise.
What a noise, and I mean, great play right from the start. Forrest has been fantastic. He's reborn down there, and they're giving him the ball all the time.
Throw-in comes in, and the shot from Forrest with his left foot on the half volley goes swerving over the crossbar and behind for a Rangers goal kick. Let's check in on the early stages at Craven Cottage. Here's John Southall.
4 minutes played, Fulham 0, Manchester City 0, but a bright start from Fulham. Pereira down the left-hand side, his cross was blocked, went out for the corner, that was cleared away, but it's positive from Fulham. Fulham 0, Man City 0.
Yes, Arsenal needing Manchester City to drop points at some point. Arsenal play against Manchester United at Old Trafford tomorrow. We've got full commentary on that game. Manchester City starting the day with a game in hand, a point behind Arsenal in that title race. Here's Diamande getting on the ball for Rangers. Ivorian on loan from Nordsjælland, joined the club in January. Fabio Silva getting booed, curling ball into the far post, headed down, and Liam Scales gets there in front of Joe Hart to nod the ball away, just a couple of yards shy of the Celtic goalmouth. Early chance for Rangers.
Yeah, Dujon Sterling at the back post there. He sometimes plays full back, this time right wing, right attack. Gets on the back post, quite unlucky there. 2 decent chances, 1 for each side.
End-to-end stuff at the moment. Matt O'Reilly bobbles a pass forward, not enough on it for Kyogo. I'll give you the Rangers lineup in a second. Fabio Silva battling with Alistair Johnston. Johnston, the Canadian international, too strong for the Portuguese. Left-footed pass from him, comes back to Liam Scales, and Scales has a bit of space to run into inside the Celtic half. Across it goes to Greg Taylor, but the referee has blown the whistle because the match ball's taken a pounding, Pat, in the first 5 minutes. It's gone flat.
That's no shock, is it? Just for people who are listening in and don't know why Fabio Silva is getting stick, he is the pantomime villain here. He was tackled in the game, tackled once or twice, and he rolled about in the most incredible way that led to lots and lots of memes being shown. So he'll not be a popular chap here.
But he also won a penalty, didn't he, to get Rangers back into that game? It was the Johnston challenge, which a lot of people felt wasn't.
Absolutely, but the amount of times he went down when he wasn't fouled was kind of quite ridiculous in that first game. So that will not be forgotten by Celtic fans.
He is going to get it. Here's Dyson Maeder. Turn of speed from him, low cross in, blocked on the edge of the penalty area. It goes behind for Celtic's first corner of the game. Celtic 0, Rangers 0.
One of the incredible things you mentioned right at the top before we started the game, the importance of Tavernier against Maeda. Tavernier's trying to push forward, it's not working. He's getting done time and again by Maeda, who's quicker.
That is precisely why Dyson Maeder's been picked. Celtic working the corner short and well, but then the pass is overhit and beyond Scales. Forrest will get there first for Celtic. Turn of speed from him to take him away from Lundstrom. Lines the shot up 25 yards out, hits it, always climbing over the bar. Jack Butland had it covered, but he did just flick a hand at it, and it's gone behind for another corner.
The two wingers have been superb. Maeda's chasing everything, looking really dangerous in the left, but Forrest is very, very special here. I mean, he's nearly 33 years of age. He's had periods where you thought, is it finished for him? But look at him now that he's got rid of his injuries. Fabulous start to the game. 22
winners' medals for Celtic for James Forrest. Corner in for Celtic, delivered deep to the far post beyond everyone and behind for the goal kick. The only players ahead of him now for Celtic, Billy McNeil on 23 and Bobby Lennox on 25. And don't forget, Celtic at the start of this game playing for a double this season. Rangers fans, of course, will tell you they are playing for a treble. They've won the League Cup. If they can win the title, these two meet Saturday the 25th of May, 3 o'clock at Hampden Park in the Scottish Cup final. Here's the Rangers lineup, by the way. Jack Butland in goal, James Tavernier, John Souttar, Ben Davis and Borna Barisic the back four, Mohamed Diamande and John Lundstrom in midfield, Dujon Sterling, Tom Lawrence and Fabio Silva wide left, with Cyril Dessers as the centre forward. Tom Lawrence chosen ahead of Todd Cantwell, who is on the bench for Rangers. Hatate, nice turn, looking to slide one through for Maeda, cleared. Hatate heads it forward, it might drop for Hatate again, chests it down, then he tumbles 25 yards from goal in a central position, and that is a foul, says the referee. Diamande with the challenge free kick for Celtic.
Yeah, Diamande will feel he's just been a little bit strong, but his elbow catches the back of Hatate's head. Referee can't let that one go. Very good position. There's 2 or 3 players in that Celtic team who would love to have a go at this one. I have a suspicion it might be Matt O'Reilly who'll get the nod for it, but there's 2 or 3 others. McGregor would fancy it.
What a goal-scoring season Matt O'Reilly has had. 15 total, 14 in the Premier League. Has been on the penalties recently as well. So it's either going to be him or Kyogo. It'll be O'Reilly with the left foot. It's a lovely position though, Pat, and it's just far back enough, just sort of 2-3 yards away from the edge of the D, but time to get that ball up and down over a wall.
Lovely position, unless your name is Jack Butland.
Yeah. Who's all in bright orange away to our right. Rangers defending the goal in front of the Lisbon Lions stand. Flags waving furiously, which catch the eye as the whistle blows. Might be Kyogo, no, will be O'Reilly with the left foot. Oh, just wide. Butland wasn't sure, threw himself to his left, and from Rangers' point of view, a lucky escape, 0-0. Well,
power, pace, position, getting it up over the wall, down again in time. Butland will say he had it covered. Oh, I'm sure he did. Very, very close one, that. Superb free kick there, but tough when you've got Furuhashi who can head it the other side.
Fulham 0, Manchester City 0 at Craven Cottage in the Premier League. Celtic 0, Rangers 0. Scales up, heads the bouncing ball away. Lundstrom powers a header forward. Scales again. That'll flick on from Maeda, looking for Kyogo. Kyogo goes chasing as Celtic lose that ball on the halfway line. Diamande is down. Fabio Silva chases a hopeful punt forward. Johnston's got it covered. Silva's behind him. Johnston holds him off, and the Celtic fans roar their approval once again as it goes behind for a Celtic goal kick.
Yeah, Silva, I mean, that's going to be a nice interesting battle in its own, obviously, against Johnston there on that near side to us, because Philip Silva, I mean, he is a good player, he is an actual goal scorer, although Rangers fans haven't completely taken to him yet.
Greg Taylor on the move down the left, feeds Maida, sliding challenge from Tavernier, doing the defensive work for Rangers. The ball goes out for a Celtic throw, attacking position, a couple of yards short of the corner flag on the left-hand side, and those replacement balls from the goal kick and for the throw-in immediately in the hands of the Celtic players. That was very much a feature under Ange Postecoglou, watching his Celtic teams for the last couple of years before Brendan Rodgers came back, just constantly on the move and keeping the game going. Goal kick for Rangers here.
Yeah, I think Celtic can half want to do that, but they don't want to give possession away. Look, Celtic have had most of the game so far in these early minutes, in this first 10 minutes or so, but you would expect that. They're at home, they play a high tempo game. Rangers kind of had to survive this period. They have managed to survive just about, but they need to get some dominance in the midfield. They just can't get control of it.
Barisic's header away, chested down towards Lundstrom, lobs a ball up in the air, loose touch from Diamande, sliding challenge from him to try and recover it, catches Callum McGregor, and Callum McGregor's already complaining that Diamande's put a couple of challenges in early on in this game, and possibly that should be the first yellow card. Let's see what Willie Collum decides.
I don't think he'll yellow card him. I think he's going to give himself a little bit of leeway here. Give him the big stern talking to, the finger wagging, and then say this is your last chance in front of everyone, because he knows if you reach your cards too early in the Old Firm game, it's a rod for your own back. So, you know, in any other game, I think Willie Collum gets his card out there.
Would you fancy refereeing one of these games, Pat, if you were qualified to do so?
I would never fancy refereeing any game, but if you had to put on my top three in world football that I'd least like to, this would be up there, and it would definitely, as Brian Clough used to say, in the top one.
Talking about top three games in world football, Pat's had quite a week. You were probably listening to him on Wednesday night at the Bernabeu alongside John Murray. Not a bad week. The Champions League semi-final second leg between Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, with a dramatic finish there. And here he is alongside us again for BBC Radio 5 Live. Celtic 0, Rangers 0. Tavernier marauding forward for Rangers into enemy territory, brought down by Callum McGregor. Free kick for Rangers.
But it goes everywhere. Tavernier, he's asking a lot of questions. Sometimes he's a little bit too calm and casual when he's playing against Celtic. He doesn't go forward as much as he has to, because he's so important for Rangers in a creative sense. This time he's trying to get forward. It was in almost an inside forward position there. However, Maeda tracked him all the way.
Keeping you in touch all the time with what's going on in the Premier League as well. Title race very tight, of course. Fulham 0, Manchester City 0. Arsenal don't play until tomorrow. Full commentary on that game at Old Trafford at 4:30. Tavernier with the free kick, spinning into the Celtic area, hits a couple of Celtic players, falls fortuitously for James Forrest, clears it with his right foot. The referee blows his whistle and says that is going to be a free kick for Celtic.
Yeah, didn't quite see what happened there. Was it? Yeah, there was a hand. Well done, spotted referee.
Right, goal at Craven Cottage, John Southall.
Manchester City have the lead. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1, and once again Gvardiol's popped up, cut in from the left-hand side and tucked the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. Third goal in 4 games for him. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1.
Celtic 0, Rangers 0. If Manchester City win that game this afternoon, they move to 85 points, 2 points ahead of Arsenal, who play tomorrow. Then the Manchester City game in hand comes on Tuesday night. If Manchester City win at Fulham today and Arsenal don't win at Old Trafford tomorrow, Manchester City could win the title on Tuesday night with a win at Tottenham. 13 minutes gone here at Celtic Park. Rangers opting for a bit of possession inside their own half. Barisic launches a high steepling ball which bounces beyond Johnston. Silva chases. Carter Vickers comes across and just cushions the clearance away, and that'll be a throw in for Rangers in an attacking position on the left.
You know, the Barisic barrage there, it really actually spooked Celtic a little bit. That's not a complicated ball. It's really high. There's a lot of air underneath it. But it's a couple of times they've not dealt with it in that kind of right-hand side. I mean, Johnson's not the tallest, so that's obviously something that Rangers have worked on.
Barisic, good skill on the left, trying to get into position to put a cross into the box now, scoops one up, headed straight up in the air. Hatate is there, volleys it away but not far, dropping down on the edge of the box. Lundstrom heads it to his left. Johnston is there first, hammers the clearance across field. This might fall to Fabio Silva, who hits the shot across goal, and behind it goes for a goal kick. Good chance.
He's tried to cut across it with his left foot, so he get a little bit of a bend on it. Because it's on the half volley, it's a tough skill and he doesn't get any bend on it, but a very decent chance.
Hatate brought down by Tom Lawrence. He turned away from Diamande. Tom Lawrence was desperately trying to break up the attack before it got going. No yellow card. Is it a free kick for Celtic?
Yeah, I mean, see, the referee's been sensible, letting it run on a little bit. There are 3 or 4 tackles that could have come in that they might have been tempted by, but don't do it in this game.
Forrest can't get away from Barisic. Thought he got the ball there. That's another free kick for Celtic, though, just inside the Rangers half. Tom Lawrence stands in the way and prevents Callum McGregor from taking it. So does Barisic. Again, no yellow cards, but Willie Collum makes the message very clear. Do that again and you're in the book. McGregor's free kick, looking for the run of Kyogo on the angle into the penalty area. Butland comes out and leaps forward to grab it.
That's the thing with Rangers defenders, they cannot turn off for a second, can they? They're chased down in every single moment. You know, right back, full back, 2 centre backs. They cannot take any time on the ball. That's why quite often they are thumping it long, which they've done again.
7 goals in his last 8 games against Rangers for Kyogo Furuhashi. Longer ball, as Pat says, from the left boot of Borna Barisic. Chased down the right by Sterling. Headed away by Taylor. And out for the throw into Rangers on the right.
He's popular enough for Furuhashi, but one thing that's going to make you popular for Celtic fans if you score lots of goals against Rangers. And as I say that, I looked wrong there and I saw Mr. Larsson,
yes,
sitting watching the game sitting right beside Rod Stewart, Roddy Forsyth. Well, these Roddies stick together, don't they?
Throw into the Celtic penalty area comes all the way through to Joe Hart, who stands out this afternoon in a stadium awash with green and white. He's all in bright yellow. He bowls the ball out to Carter Vickers. So Manchester City 1 up at Fulham. Josko Gvardiol has scored again. Latest from John Southall.
That is still the case. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. Could have been 2 though. Fulham just didn't clear the ball, and there was Haaland on the volley 12 yards out, and he put it over the bar. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1.
3 o'clock commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this afternoon at the London Stadium. David Moyes' last home game in charge of West Ham. For Luton, it's all about the relegation battle. That is West Ham Luton. Tottenham Burnley's a big one in the relegation battle as well this afternoon. Here's Carter Vickers under a bit of pressure from Silva, gets the pass away to Johnston, sweeps the ball infield. Hatate's lost it. Lawrence slightly miscontrols. Taylor comes in to win the 50-50. Clean challenge. Celtic fans love that. Here is Taylor, and he's got McGregor inside him, and McGregor starts to smoothly bring the ball forward onto Johnston. Johnston goes wide to Forrest, hugging the touchline on the right hand side, running at Barisic, pass into the box, that's intercepted, and here's Silva, who's going to bring it away in the blue shirt of Rangers. McGregor will chase him back to the halfway line. Space is tight for Silva. McGregor sticks with him, those two shoulder to shoulder, and that's given as a free kick for Celtic.
I think that's a wee bit harsh as Fabio Silva. I thought that was a shoulder to shoulder. He didn't complain much about it, and a little shake of the hand there with McGregor. McGregor has done a great job for Celtic for so many years. Controls the game, but also sees the danger defensively from that central defensive midfield area.
Philippe Clement was just making that point there to the 4th official, Don Robertson, that he felt the challenge from Fabio Silva was a 50-50, shoulder to shoulder. Don Robertson listened. Philippe Clement has headed back to the dugout. Said ahead of this game, not a must-win for Rangers. They can win the title without winning this game. Certainly makes things more difficult. Challenge from Lundstrom. That is a foul. Free kick Celtic. Matt O'Reilly is caught, and the card's still staying in Willie Collum's pocket.
But he's kind of happy about. I mean, it is a more robust game than most games, and if you do get carried away as a referee, A, you'll spoil it, but B, carry on.
Space for Callum McGregor. Lines up the shot. Low fizzer. Wide of the left-hand post. Behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's the thing about McGregor. We're talking about the fact that he's covering for his full-backs when they fly away. He controls the game with his passing, but he's also very, very comfortable driving forward and getting shots on target. He could well be Celtic's most important player for years.
Early ball from Tavernier, looking for the run of Dessers. Headed away by Scales. Falls here to Dujon Sterling. First season at Rangers, having joined from Chelsea. Very versatile player. Starting wide on the right in this game. Rangers possession getting booed and jeered. Lundstrom on the ball, tries to get away from Hatate. Hatate has a little wrestle with him. That'll be a free kick for Rangers.
You're right about Dujon Sterling. I mean, last time he was left full-back, and now he's right wing. You almost can't get any different. But he's a robust player, and I think the fact that he's good defensively is going to help that midfield.
Sterling crossing from deep from the right, and the header is wide from Fabio Silva, who crept into space at the far post. Joe Hart stayed on his line, and the referee doesn't want the game to get underway just yet. Fabio Silva felt he was fouled at the far post, so maybe they're just waiting for VAR to have a look. No, they're okay.
Well, I mentioned that. He's actually done very poorly there. He's got in front of a defender, who's Johnson, who's fallen asleep, completely fallen asleep. He's come in behind him. He's got his header on it. That is a fabulous chance. He's got to get that on target. You're not going to get that many chances, so that's 2 already in this game Fabio Silva's had. But well done him getting into the positions.
Coming up to 20 minutes played in the first half. Celtic 0, Rangers 0. The draw suits Celtic the better. They start today with a 3-point lead, better goal difference and more goals scored. Here's Forrest on the ball for them. They will, of course, keep attacking. McGregor, cross to Greg Taylor, central position, 30 yards out. McGregor again, whipped out to O'Reilly. O'Reilly teasing defenders, pass to Forrest, that's blocked the shot. McGregor hits it hard, another shot is blocked and the ball comes spinning out of the Rangers penalty area. Here's Taylor. Taylor to McGregor, fancies it again, tries to turn that one round the corner, had the spin and the curl, but it's wide of the target.
What was intriguing about that entire move was the amount of times you say the word McGregor. Every pass goes through him. Eventually he gets shot at the end of it, but he sees the right ball. It's classic one of those players. If the right ball's on, he'll almost always spot it. Once again, controlling large parts of the play, and at the moment he's the most influential player at Celtic I've got to last, and again, say 10 minutes or so.
38 Old Firm derby for Callum McGregor. 460 appearances for the club before today, and you'd imagine going to be a key man for Scotland this summer as well at the Euros.
One would certainly hope so. I'm allowed to be biased in that way.
You absolutely are, Pat. You and I will be there Friday the 14th of June in Munich for the opening game of the tournament, which you can hear on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Scotland against Germany. Here's Carter Vickers, the American international for Celtic, crosses the halfway line, low ball to O'Reilly, quickly on to Forrest on the right. Celtic 0, Rangers 0, Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. Carter Vickers goes to the right again. Johnston's ball infield, finds Forrest with the white socks rolled down. Celtic in the green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks. O'Reilly takes it off Lundstrom, early cross, curling deep onto the far post. Maida heads it back across goal beyond Kyogo. Awkward one to get the header away. Second header from Tavernier does the business. Diamande's being chased across his own half, plays it to Barisic, back to his goalkeeper Butland. Kyogo closes in, Butland clears first time, launches it downfield, and Scales is up to win the header, and the ball falls at the feet here of Greg Taylor. Quickly to Craven Cottage, John Southall.
Fulham 0, Manchester City 1, but an early change forced upon Pep Guardiola. Nathan Ake's just hobbled on. Kyle Walker's on. Fulham 0, Man City 1.
Here's Forrest outside of his right foot, looking for the run here from Johnston. His shot's deflected, behind it goes for a corner to Celtic. Pat Nevin.
A good little 7 or 8 minutes there for Rangers. Certainly 50-50, they were getting chances themselves, but Celtic seem to have pushed it again. McGregor's come to the fore, and once again they've got that man James Forrest on the ball, and when he's on the ball, he's another player who's consistently dangerous.
Celtic Park is bouncing, still 0-0. O'Reilly with the corner into the far post. Good leap from John Souttar, heads it away, and the ball heading towards the corner flag and just goes out for a throw rather than a corner.
It's so hard to tell what's going to be the thing that's going to change it. I mean, it could be the pace of Furuhashi, it could be Silva. Fabio Silva has looked very, very dangerous getting in at that packed close, getting into dangerous positions, but his defender's not watching him, and that's mostly because Johnson likes to get forward to an awful lot.
Greg Taylor's cross headed straight up in the air by Souttar. Ben Davies, his centre-back partner, helps him out. Tom Lawrence goes in to win a header, then volleys the ball away up towards Dessers. Lovely strength and control from Dessers. He was held back by Scales as he went running for the loose ball. Rangers want to go quickly from the free kick, but Willie Collins says no, you're not taking that from the right spot, back you come.
Yeah, it was only about 15 yards away, and the fact that Willie Collins was standing on the correct spot, he was never going to get away with that one. But lively game for Rangers. They're trying to get the ball down and play it. Now and again they get it, but usually Celtic eventually close them down, and they have to hit it long, and at the moment Scales and Carter Vickers, they're mopping up most of the long balls against Dessers.
When Philippe Clement arrived, both Rangers and Celtic have played 8 games apiece. Rangers found themselves 7 points behind their rivals in the title race. Starting today, 3 points behind them. Celtic nearly lose it inside their own half, but they've worked it to McGregor. McGregor looks up and just calmly rolls the ball to Maida. Now Maida here is against Souttar. over on that left-hand side for Celtic. Lundstrom steps in to help out. Pass goes through his legs. Hatate, free-man edge of the box. O'Reilly just wide, curling shot. Butland diving to his left again, and Celtic just can't find the target with those strikes.
Yeah, but they're manipulating good space, and Rangers can't allow that to keep on happening. It's making the right passes at the right time. Hatate took a second of the ball just to kill the space of it, and once again that ball just curls away, this time quite low, past the post, and no chance was Butland going to save that. He hadn't got it covered. So I would say that's 3 times that Celtic have had those opportunities, and had it been on target, there'd have been goals. So they're getting closer, Celtic.
25 minutes gone in the first half. Celtic 0, Rangers 0. Win for Celtic puts them 6 points clear with 2 games to go. 1 more point would guarantee the title, but the goal difference is better, and they've scored more goals as well. Rangers, though, attacking down the right here. Tom Lawrence gets a cross in, deflected. Joe Hart slides to his knees and is able to keep that ball in play for Celtic. Sprinting out to the edge of the area, thinking about getting Celtic away quickly. Holds on to the ball for now.
That's one of the joys if you've got no opposition supporters in. When the ball's crossed in there, the shout for handball would have gone up, but there's no Rangers fans to shout.
Brilliant run forward from Liam Scales. Well, I say brilliant run forward. He just suddenly saw 50 yards free in front of him, took it up to the halfway line, couldn't find Kyogo.
No, you make a very good point there about Scales. He has grown so much. He's a young player at centre-back. And not many are that confident to come out that comfortably with the ball, but he does that really well.
Diamande's early ball is headed away by Scales for Celtic. Celtic 0, Rangers 0. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. Highlights of the Premier League football, if you're looking for those live this evening. BBC 2 tonight for a change at 10 o'clock as well. Slight change of time. Eurovision Song Contest is dominating the schedules on BBC 1. So match of the day tonight, BBC 2 at 10 o'clock. This is Celtic 0, Rangers 0. Here's Lundstrom finding Diamande. Diamande plays back to John Souttar. Souttar just inside the Celtic half for Rangers. Goes wide to Sterling. Time to take a touch, look up and assess his options. Forced away from goal by Maida for Celtic. Comes back to Souttar. Souttar's high curling ball towards the far post. Johnston has to head it behind for a Rangers corner.
Yeah, again, it's that ball to the back post there. Silva coming in at the back post. He's had 2 chances already. He should have done much better with a headed chance. But that ball to the back post has got Celtic worried. Sterling just maybe took too long to put the ball in. He should have put it in earlier. Eventually took another 10 seconds to get the ball in, and by that time Johnson had got himself positioned correctly at the back post.
Brendan Rodgers takes a slurp of water. Hot day in Glasgow. He's in the dark grey suit. Fabulous record he has in these derbies. This is 17th. Of the previous 16 has won 12 and only ever lost 1. And certainly not 1 here. Here's Tavernier's corner. In it comes. Dangerous, bounces in front of the Celtic goal. Scales reacts. Stretching forward, clears on the half volley. Sterling brings it down well on the instep of his white right boot and then passes the ball back to Barisic. Hatate comes chasing for Celtic. Barisic again happy to launch that high spinning ball down the left hand side. Tavernier jumps for it. Silva wins the next header for Rangers. McGregor underneath it, calmly flicks the ball away. Kyogo knocks it over the head of Lundstrom. Can't get onto it though. Barisic plays it down the line to Lundstrom. He bounces off O'Reilly. Low pass finds Tom Lawrence. Lawrence dummies the shot with his right foot, then flicks it to his right, and Maida's back there. Clears for Celtic, throwing for Rangers.
It's so noticeable what they're trying to do, Rangers. They just lump it into that same area. They obviously think that Johnson's a weakness, but he's just got away with it there, Johnson, hasn't he?
Yeah, that was shoulder to shoulder again with Fabio Silva. That one actually looked more of a foul than the previous one he got blown up for. Willie Collins says that is a free kick for Celtic. Back to Craven Cottage, John Southall.
28 minutes played, Fulham 0, Man City 1. You have to say City looking in control at the moment. Bernardo Silva 20-yarder saved by Leno to his left hand side, and then Foden from the right hand side. Again there was Leno to save it at the second attempt. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1.
Win for Manchester City today puts the pressure on Arsenal ahead of that game at Old Trafford tomorrow. We've got commentary on it. Kicks off at 4:30. Clearance downfield from Joe Hart. Ben Davies wins a couple of headers. Dessers tries to play it back to Lundstrom. Then the ball runs into the Celtic half, and Carter Vickers uses Joe Hart and then immediately moves to his right, gets it back from Hart. O'Reilly comes back to help out, plays it back to Celtic's goalkeeper again. Joe Hart, now at the grand old age of 37, twice a Premier League winner with Manchester City in England. He's won the last 2 Scottish Premiership titles with Celtic as well.
I think he's loved his time in Scotland. Obviously, if you win trophies and win leagues, that kind of helps. But in the semi-final against Aberdeen, you know, taking a penalty in a shootout, saving one that gets his team through, he is loving every single second of this last little taste of his career.
Celtic 0, Rangers 0. English goalkeepers at either end. Butland to our right, Joe Hart of Celtic to our left. Throw in for Rangers inside their own half, wide on the right. And we've got 15 minutes remaining in what's been a gripping first half so far, but no goals as yet. Here's Ben Davies, plays across to Barisic, looking for that long high ball down the left again. Took a slight deflection. Fabio Silva is onto it, flicks it infield, laid off by Lawrence. Nearly found Dessers on the edge of the Celtic penalty area. He couldn't control it. Taylor plays it across to Carter Vickers for Celtic. Wide it comes to Matt O'Reilly on the right. He comes back infield across to Liam Scales, who, as Pat Nevin was just saying, happy to bring the ball forward. Prompts Greg Taylor with his pass wide to Maida. Edge of the Rangers penalty area, rolled back to Callum McGregor, 35 yards out in the inside left channel. There's Taylor again, makes himself available. Tate being chased by Tavernier, who's out of his right back position for the moment. Tate comes back to Carter Vickers, low skidding pass across to Forrest, who thinks he's got the beating of Barisic, brings it infield, lays it off to Johnston, across to Tate. Hatate's low pass finds O'Reilly on the edge of the Rangers box. Here's Johnston, one little touch. Kyogo, great save for Butland, and the rebound won't fall to Kyogo, and Sterling is able to clear.
It's incredible how few times you mention Kyogo, but when you do, he just comes alive in that ball. Caught it well, difficult chance there. Another brilliant save by Butland. He's a 2. Absolutely superb save in this game so far.
Yeah, one was from John Suter in the very first minute of the game. Could have ended up as an own goal. That was just a sheer reflex save at close range. That was similar because Kyogo's backlift there was short. Bang, it came in at real pace.
I think it's a superb save. I mean, he's kept Rangers in the game. They should have been 2-0 down. Many keepers wouldn't have been lively enough and quick enough, but when Celtic get that ball just outside the 18-yard line, maybe 20-25 yards out, they just become a different team. They zip the ball out quickly, they move, they come from unusual angles. There's always a third man runner. I think that's something that Brendan works on, and when they get there, they almost always have a shot towards goal at the end of it.
Celtic now a win today, and the title is pretty much there. 6 points clear with 2 games to go, but ahead on the goal difference. Rangers wouldn't be able to afford to drop any points, and Celtic would only need 1 more point. They're away at Kilmarnock on Wednesday, and on the final day they're at home to St Mirren. All the games kick off at 12:30 next Saturday, which will feature in Saturday's 5 Live Sport, as well as the final day of the Women's Super League, with all of those games kicking off at 3 o'clock. Celtic have given the ball away. Cross from Sterling, looking for Dessers. Carter Vickers has it covered. Meaty clearance first time out, it goes for a Rangers throw.
Well, certainly Dessers has improved as this season's gone up front for Rangers. However, he's against 2 better centre backs in this occasion. At the moment, he's getting nothing at all out of them. Having said that, he's not giving up trying, and he's holding the ball up a little bit better than he has. Well, he did at the start of the season.
Throw in for Rangers, comes back to Suter. Suter plays across the halfway line to Davis. Davis puts a bit of pace on the pass. Nice first touch from Barisic, brings that infield away from Forrest. Lundstrom plays the straight ball to Fabio Silva, again looking for Dessers. The pass wasn't accurate. Carter Vickers had it covered, and it ends up with Joe Hart.
He's very interesting, Fabio Silva. It's quite clear that he's the main player that Rangers want to get the ball to when they're attacking. And, you know, the player that was going down at every single opportunity in the previous game, he looks strong and robust in this game, and a much better player for it.
On loan from Wolves, Fabio Silva. Here's James Forrest though for Celtic. Kyogo wasn't quite expecting that. He was trying to dart into a bit of space. Forrest played the pass, it hit the legs of Kyogo, runs away into the arms of Butland.
That's what Kyogo always wants to do. He wants to be on the half turn, and he's very adept at taking a ball with one touch, you know, and he looks as if he's got his back to the goal, and suddenly he's facing the goal with a little bit of space. In that occasion, I think it just bounced up in front of him and hit his shin.
5 Live and BBC Sounds live at Celtic Park. Full commentary on West Ham Luton to come at 3 o'clock. Nottingham Forest against Chelsea at 5:30. Nottingham Forest fans could be celebrating later on this evening, depending on what happens in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. If they beat Chelsea, of course, in our 5 commentary, then Nottingham Forest will effectively be safe, and we'll be looking at Burnley and Luton going down with Sheffield United. Celtic on the ball inside their own half. Little 1-2 play between McGregor and Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers now at walking pace, just strokes it into the path of Kyogo. McGregor's on the move though, brings it forward into the Rangers half. Hatate lays it off to Taylor. Taylor looks to his right and sees Carter Vickers. Forrest just jogging on the spot here, waiting to receive the ball for Celtic on the right-hand touchline. Stabs it past Barisic, finds Johnston. Back to Forrest. Good run being made by Callum McGregor into space on the right. Tom Lawrence goes with him. McGregor turns away from him. Low pass comes in. O'Reilly sets himself up and finds the bottom corner. And Celtic take a giant step towards another Scottish Premiership title. They've looked so dangerous on the edge of the Rangers penalty area. Matt O'Reilly's had a few sighters. You can't give him too many chances. He's been in fabulous goal-scoring form this season. He struck that sweetly. It's past Butland. It's Celtic 1, Rangers 0.
I think it was 2 minutes ago, and I said to you, at the 18-yard line, Celtic have always got a third man runner. McGregor controls it. He's always central to it. Makes a brilliant run from he gets the space, but he's always got his eyes open. He's always got his head up. Plays a perfect ball in there. And this time, as you said, there has been a couple of sighters first. On this occasion, 18 yards out. Eventually it was going to happen. Butland can do nothing about it. Even though it's at his near post there was a player in his way. He was unsighted. The referee's going to check it. There's nothing wrong with that goal. And the only thing that's going to stop this game starting again is that green bomb in the corner showing off all the smoke. Celtic fans have waited for a wee while. The party that they've been waiting for is almost started.
Like a scene from one of the Batman films at the moment. The Joker's in the house. Green smoke, as Pat says, billowing away to our right-hand side. What about the part Callum McGregor with his run played in that goal, Pat?
Well, that's the point I make it. He's controlled so many of the things. And he's really, he's calm and he holds it, but as he makes a run beyond the defence, and he's supposed to be defensive midfielder. But apart from that, when he gets it, he doesn't panic. He holds it, waits for the right run, finds the right player, they get a goal. Massively important player for Scotland as well as Celtic.
Game not back underway just yet, so VAR are obviously checking something on this goal.
I'd be amazed at that. I could not see anything wrong. I'm sure it's just a smoke bomb in the corner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it must be, Pat. You're absolutely right. And by the way, did you just make that point about Callum McGregor?
I did, but you didn't hear it. You didn't hear it. I know you didn't. But that is it. I mean, they have been the better team in the midfield, Celtic, and all the players in the midfield have played well today. Hatate's been great. McGregor has been superb. O'Reilly's getting into great positions, and the two wingers have been very, very strong for Celtic. And it's not really a surprise with the movement in the third man runners, which I talked about, that's where the goal came from.
8 minutes remaining then in the first half. Celtic have taken the lead. They lead Rangers by a goal to nil. What's happening at Craven Cottage, John Southall?
Well, I've got 9 minutes to half time. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1, and City at the moment so dominant in this game. Wouldn't surprise you if a second came before half time. Fulham yet to have a shot on target. Here comes Haaland onto the edge of the area, but Leno out quickly. Fulham 0, Man City 1.
Cameron Carter-Vickers then, as things calm down ever so slightly inside Celtic Park. They have the lead they want, in command in this title race. Lovely control from Maida. Diagonal ball from Carter-Vickers, found him low, cross into the box. Oh, it's ended up in the back of the net. Celtic fans are cock-a-hoop. It's an own goal. Maida got in on the left-hand side. He just put it into a dangerous area. No Celtic player got anywhere near it, but a Rangers defender has stuck out a boot. It's ended up in the back of the net, and Rangers' title hopes might be dashed right there. Celtic 2, Rangers 0.
Yeah, balls down the left-hand side. Maida's superb. I think it might have been Suter. Davis was in there as well. It was zipped across at such a pace, it was difficult to see. They're going to look and see if there's an offside there. I do not think there's an offside. But Maeda, his pace was superb. The defender had to keep on going backward further and further. In actual fact, it's not Suter. It's coming back there.
Lundstrom.
As Lundstrom of all people. So many blue shirts in there. But I mean, what is he doing really? To be honest, he's just caught off guard. He can't get his feet right. It's a panic. It's just a panic, nothing else. Celtic, in a matter of moments, have absolutely taken complete and utter control of this. And now we have to see if Rangers have got the spirit to come back. They look like a team beaten, and it's only taken a couple of minutes.
Brilliant ball from Carter-Vickers. Fabulous control from Dyson Maida. Put the cross into the Rangers penalty area, just hoping something might happen, and it has happened. VAR checking the goal for the possible offside, as Pat mentioned, and Dyson Maida booked in the celebrations for going to celebrate with the fans after the goal. If the goal gets ruled out for offside, I don't think the yellow card gets rescinded. Doesn't matter. Goal stands. That roar tells you everything. Celtic are closing in on their 12th Scottish Premiership title in the last 13 seasons. Brendan Rodgers back at the club this season. Ange Postecoglou won Celtic the last two. It's been topsy-turvy all the way through this season, and Philippe Clement has had Rangers very much in the race, but they are very much on the back foot now as Silva attacks for them down the left-hand side. Celtic leading Rangers 2-0. Switches the pass to Barisic. Barisic chips across to the far post. Header back across goal and nodded in. Rangers have a goal back. Celtic Park falls quiet. Cyril Dessers got up, nodded it in from close range. This one isn't over just yet. Celtic 2, Rangers 1.
Well, the attitude of the Rangers I was asking about, they really came back to it. The ball was played up left-hand side. That man we've been talking about right from the start, the danger man, was Fabio Silva. He's got one-on-one there. He goes towards the defender, holds him up, but the little dink ball down the left-hand side is perfect. Great understanding with him and Barisic there, who pushed it to the back post. And well done, Dessers. He just waits there in the right area, heads it in when it's headed back across there. Do you know what? This season could have been over. Minutes later, we're right back in again. Having said that, hey, it was 2-1 with 4 minutes to go in the last game. There's more than 4 minutes to go this one. There's lots of excitement to happen here.
Yeah, that one finished 3-3. Celtic were 2-0 up in that game, got themselves 3-2 ahead, thought they'd won it with the late Adam Ida goal. Ravi Matondo's curling strike then found the back of the net, and at that point Rangers found themselves 1 point behind Celtic with a game in hand in the title race. Then they lost their nerve a little bit. Next couple of games they lost away to Ross County, drew 0-0 against Dundee, which has put Celtic back in charge. Celtic still in charge at the moment, leading Rangers by 2-1. But that last few minutes just shows you again, you can never ever take anything for granted in these battles. Lundstrom's ball looking for Silva. Johnston's got a real job on his hands there, and then Johnston slides in, tackles Silva, and it goes out for a Rangers throw.
He's been great, Silva. Absolutely brilliant. Every time he's got on the ball, staying on his feet, being strong. Attitude's been super, using all his skills, but also his intelligence as well as a player. He's making Johnston's afternoon a very, very difficult one, and once again they got into the right areas. I have a suspicion his manager's had a word with him. You know, the play acting, the silly stuff that he's been doing recently. But forget about that. You're not going to get away with that up here in Scotland. He took it on board, and he's been super today.
So corner for Rangers. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Manchester City still 1 up at Fulham in the Premier League. Celtic leading Rangers by 2-1. Tavernier with the corner. Deep one towards the far post. Nodded down. Willie Collum just trying to work out who got the final touch, given as a goal kick, but doesn't want Celtic to take that as quickly as they did and forces them to go again. Well,
the reason why he doesn't want that is in case he got it wrong there, and it was a corner kick, and if he gets that wrong, they'll all be pointing back at him again. I think it was a corner kick, and I think in his mind Willie Collum is probably aware that that was the case, so take a chance for Celtic to break and score from what would have been his mistake.
Joe Hart, frustrated, slices the ball out of play with his right foot. As our producer today, Gavin Wallace, has reminded me, Joe Hart, of course, retires at the end of this season. So today, his last Old Firm derby in the league here at Celtic Park. Scottish Cup final to come, of course, on the 25th of May between these two. Barisic's ball forward. Dessers is wide on the left. It bounces over his head. Carter Vickers gets ready to take the throw, and Dessers brings himself very, very close to a load of Celtic fans who
wave at him politely.
Who wave at him, Pat. I think we'll leave it like that. And thankfully we can't hear what's being said either. 90 seconds remaining plus added time at the end of this first half. Rangers almost looked dead and buried, and then turned it straight round and have got themselves a goal to get back in this game. Liam Scales brings it forward again as he slightly overhit that pass. Kyogo will chase it. Ben Davies has it covered and lets it go behind for the Rangers goal kick.
He does look very good in the ball when he goes forward, Scales. Now he's got a lot to learn, but he is learning so quickly. That is the right ball. It didn't deliver it the right way, but it's a right ball to try and play.
25 years old, on loan to Aberdeen last season, made his full international debut in the autumn for the Republic of Ireland. Rangers have given the ball away to Celtic here, who come looking for a third goal late in the first half. Hatate hits one from a long way out. That was always going wide. Butland knew it. and it's gone behind for the goal kick. So last minute of the first half being played here. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. Back to Craven Cottage, John Southall.
What a miss for Man City. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. Lovely ball from De Bruyne on the left hand side. There was Akanji, must have been 3 yards out, somehow put it over the bar. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1.
Rangers goal kick, clumped forward by Butland with his right foot. Bit of swerve on that, little bit of fade, takes it away from Dujon Sterling, and out for the throw in it goes. Celtic take it quickly. Carter Vickers under a bit of pressure, plays back to Hart. Hart side puts it to Johnston. Lundstrom comes flying in. Definitely got the ball, may have got a bit of Johnston too. Willie Collum has the yellow card out for the first time in this half. Celtic will get the free kick.
And there's no complaint whatsoever from Lundstrom. I'm like you. I thought he got the ball, but his foot was far, far too high. He gets a bit of the ball, but he gets plenty of the player as well. In fact,
whoa.
I think they might look at that again. There must be a temptation to look at that again for a red card.
3 minutes
horrible that
of added time. That's terrible. I actually thought because of where the ball went that John Lundstrom got the ball. Lundstrom is clearly fired up because he scored the own goal. Rangers are back in the game, but watching that on the replay there, he comes flying in at 100 miles an hour, misses the ball and plants his studs on the shin and ankle of Alistair Johnston, who is down hurt.
I'm telling you right now, Premier League, he's off.
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely clear as a whistle. In the Premier League, he is off.
Well, yeah, go on, Pat, sorry.
Let's see if it's not going to be Willie Collum. Well, he'll be called over to have a look at it.
Yeah.
He must have a look at it.
He's coming over. Yeah. He's coming over. That's the noise you can hear from the Celtic fans. Message up on the big screen, checking possible red card for serious foul play. The fact that he's coming over to the screen tells you the decision is probably going to be changed. I think Rangers are going to be down to 10 men very shortly.
Yeah, I don't know how you can give any other decision if you've been called over to look at it. I mean, I'd be amazed if Willie Collum does not produce a red card.
Ill-advised challenge from John Lundstrom late in the first half. We are watching now what Willie Collum is watching. Replay again and again and again of the challenge. He comes out. He changes his mind. He calls John Lundstrom over. You can hear what the Celtic fans think of it. The red card is shown to John Lundstrom. He's scored an own goal. He is now sent off. And Rangers' title challenge is crumbling in front of their eyes at Celtic Park. Celtic fans wave John Lundstrom off the field. Celtic lead by 2-1. No need really to make the challenge. He's caught Johnston, and that is a red card.
Well, he's got caught up in the moment. He's given the goal. He's scored an own goal. He's got the excitement of getting the goal back, and he's just over-exuberant. But he's also viciously stupid. To dive in there, he's run 20 yards to make that tackle. There is absolutely no need. Yeah, he's trying to make if he wins that there and wins it clean, he's almost through and goal. But you do not come up with your studs that far. That could have been a horrendous injury there. Happily, he's recovered. Lundstrom rightly off the field.
Yeah, that's the good news, is that Alistair Johnston is back on his feet. He's not moving at full speed, but Celtic will get him to half-time. And initially, I think both Pat and I thought that Lundstrom had got the ball, because where the ball went, it flew off at speed. He very clearly didn't. Reckless challenge, and quite rightly a red card. So Celtic lead 10-man Rangers by 2-1. Half-time approaching. Manchester City 1 up at Fulham. Celtic here closing in on the title.
I mean, these are the moments when you're actually really happy you've got VAR, because that should never be allowed in a football game, that sort of tackle.
Hatate finds O'Reilly trying to turn inside the Rangers penalty area. Hatate with a scissor tackle. He might get booked for that. He does.
That was silly. There was no need to do that there. The opposition are just gone down to 10 men. You know, the referee wants to. He's not going to equal it up, but he's now under a little bit of pressure. The Rangers will be upset about him diving in there. I mean, right that high up the field. Silly from. It's not going to be a red card. It's a yellow card. The referee's got that one right, but Hatate now has to be very, very careful.
So Hatate on the yellow card. Dyson Maeda on the yellow card as well for the celebrations after the second Celtic goal. John Lundstrom sent off. Referee also just had a quick word there with the Rangers midfielder Mohamed Diamande. And Jack Butland is waiting to get the game back underway. It is right there though for Celtic at the moment. Win today, 6 points clear with 2 games to go. Another point will guarantee it. Rangers cannot afford to slip up. Even if they win both games, Celtic may well pit them on goal difference if Celtic lost both their 2 games. Half-time whistle now blows at Celtic Park. 45 minutes of rip-roaring entertainment. The game really has changed again with John Lundstrom's red card right at the end of that first half. Pat Nevin, what have you made of it all?
Just normal Celtic Rangers game. Sending off 3 goals, lots of chances, lots of excitement. But Rangers, they had it in their hands to get back into the game there. And that moment of complete and utter madness is I don't know what the manager must think of that. To get his team back in, to know where the weakness was, and the weakness was with the fullback Johnson. The idea is to take the ball at him, not take his leg off. It was a moment of madness and stupidity. However, even though it's 11 against 10 and Celtic should win it easily from here on in, it's the Celtic Rangers game. Anything could happen, and Hatate and Maeda and anyone, if they do anything else stupid, we might be down to 10-10, and again, anything could happen.
It's the kind of thing that happens in a fevered atmosphere like this. Reckless challenge from John Lundstrom is going to cost Rangers, it looks like, very, very dearly. Half-time, Celtic lead Rangers by 2-1.
You could see what... I know you said, Pat, he ran 20 yards, but the ball was slightly under hit from Hart. So you can kind of see what he was trying to do, but the challenge was terrible.
It is, it's to be honest, it's fair with him. He doesn't start that run wanting to hurt the player. No. He starts that run thinking, I can get there. But when you're about 5 yards away from it and half committed, don't then raise your boot and your stud at that level and follow through on it. Yeah. Realise, I'm not going to get there, and try and take yourself out of it. He didn't do that, over-committed, and it's just dangerous. It's just horribly, horribly dangerous. And as a player, the amount of times you've had tackles like that, that the only thing that saved you there was the fact that your leg wasn't planted.
Yeah.
If his leg had been planted, he's halfway to the hospital right now.
Only Lundstrom will know, but there's an element, isn't there, of trying to overcompensate for scoring the own goal.
Yeah, and also the excitement of the moment, and add on that Rangers have just got to go back and they're trying to put pressure on. It's everything comes together, and the madness of the moment. It's clear, one of the things that's often said in these situations is someone will say, what was he thinking about? Well, he wasn't thinking. That's the point. His head's all over fuzz there. He's just rushing it out. He's just hyper at that moment, and if he could replay it and not do it again, obviously he wouldn't do it. But you cannot be that lacking in control in any game of football, and in this one in particular. Referee got it spot on. Well done, VAR. Had to have a look at it a second time. We had to look at it a second time, and the second time I was looking it through my fingers. I don't want to see it again.
Finally, given the nature of these games, even this season, I'm not sure I'd necessarily rule anything in or rule anything out in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you a wee story. Many, many years ago in the 70s, Celtic were 2-1 down here against Rangers and went down to 10 men. And Johnny Doyle, I believe, was sent off. I've got Roddy Forsyth beside me. He'll put me right if I was wrong. So, and the game, and that decided the league, that game that night. And Celtic won 4-2. Anything can happen in these games.
Pat, thank you. Second half with Pat and Ali on the way. Wonder if you get the sense that anything could happen at Craven Cottage. I'm thinking maybe not, John Southall.
Maybe not on the first half's evidence, because it's Fulham 0, Manchester City 1, and you have to say it's been comfortable for City. They have been dominant. The goal on 12 minutes, Kevin De Bruyne slipped in Josko Gvardiol. He cut in and finished into the bottom left-hand corner. It's turned into a goal machine. That's 3 in his last 4 league games now for Gvardiol. Could have been more for City as well. Haaland volleyed over from 12 yards. Leno saved from Silva and Foden. De Bruyne had a shot deflected wide. Then right on half-time, De Bruyne again involved on the left, picked out a Kanji 4 yards out, and somehow he missed it and put it wide. City, have to say at the moment, just too good for Fulham, and as it stands, they'll be back on top of the Premier League. And Mark, a disappointed Hugh Grant, who's sitting right in front of me today. Half-time, Fulham 0, Man City 1.
Right, let's go to Wembley, non-league trophy final day. The FA Trophy itself is at 4:15 between Gateshead and Solihull Moors. It's the Vase final at the moment. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Great Wakering Rovers 0, Romford 0, back underway for the second half here. Mark, this game being played at a frantic pace, but it is Romford who have had the major chances. Annabelta, Pinto and Charlie Morris have both fired wide, but the best of the opportunities have fallen for Finlay Durrell. Firstly, he drew a smart block from Wakering keeper Sham Shoom. Then he fired just inches wide after holding off the defender. Wakering have grown into this one, but it is Romford who are on top. It's Great Wakering Rovers 0, Romford 0.
Thank you very much, Aaron. 5 Live, Saturday afternoon, coming up to 1:25. The latest news is with Alison Hughes.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good afternoon. The Dutch contestant in this year's Eurovision Song Contest, Joost Klein, has been disqualified from tonight's final. Swedish police are investigating a complaint against him by a female member of the production crew. Meanwhile, police in Malmö say they're expecting up to 20,000 people at a protest against Israel's participation in tonight's Eurovision final. A number of the finalists have called for a lasting ceasefire in Gaza. The Israeli military has ordered the evacuation of thousands more people from Rafah in southern Gaza. They've been told to go to the narrow coastal area of Al-Mawasi, which the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees says has no running water or proper sanitation. And 2 climate protesters in their 80s have been charged with criminal damage after the glass around the Magna Carta at the British Library in London was targeted. They're due in court next month.
Coming up on Sunday.
Look at her go, Leah Galton, can't see her in the centre, can't see her there!
It is a huge day of football on 5 Live.
Wow, what a game, what a performance!
At 2:30, Tottenham face Manchester United in the Women's FA Cup final, live from Wembley.
History! And just look what it means to these players!
And at 4:30, Arsenal travel to Old Trafford to take on Manchester United.
Good first touch from Saka. Works it onto the left foot and curls it into the bottom corner.
5 Live Sport. Listen Sunday from 12
on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Celtic 2, Rangers 1 at the break. Celtic's second goal, an own goal from John Lundstrom, who subsequently got sent off. In the Premier League, Manchester City are going top. They lead at Fulham by a 0-0, Gvardiol with the goal. The Derby and the Oaks at Epsom are just 3 weeks away, and the latest trials for those races take place at Lingfield this afternoon. John Hunt is there for us. And which of the 2 trials would you say looks the more significant?
Well, it's difficult to tell, Mark, as we say good afternoon to you from a gorgeous Lingfield Park. The sun out, lovely day here, packed house. In the Oaks trial, for the fillies, of course, probably the best horse running today is a horse called Danielle. She's trained by John and Thady Gosden, father and son combination, and they, of course, won the Oaks 12 months ago. She looked great when she won her prep race for this at Wetherby, but has got to take another step forward this afternoon. So in terms of the most exciting horse today, she's probably it. They were a little bit concerned about the drying ground, but as things stand right now, an hour before the race itself, she's still an intended runner. But you just never know what the Derby trial will throw up. That's at 3 o'clock this afternoon as well. Aidan O'Brien's got 2 nice young horses who up until this point haven't looked stars in the making, but that might change by 3 o'clock today. They're called Illinois and the Euphrates, but against O'Brien's 2, a horse trained by Roger Varian at Newmarket. Varian won the 1,000 guineas last week, of course. This horse's name is Defiance, and he ran really well in a trial, one of the rare horses who has 2 trials before the Derby. He ran really well in the Epsom trial 3 weeks ago, and if he takes a step forward, he could write himself into the Derby picture as well. So 2 really, really intriguing races. Looking forward to them greatly.
And the trials continue into this coming week with the final trials at York.
Yeah, York's looking really good. Ancient Wisdom looking likely to run in the Dante Stakes next Thursday. There's an Oaks trial as well, the Musidora Stakes on Wednesday afternoon. And in terms of Aidan O'Brien, Mark, we probably haven't seen his very best 3-year-old yet. Obviously, he's very much involved in both races today here at Lingfield Park, but tomorrow he has a horse called Los Angeles who runs in the Derby trial at Leopardstown, and also
Also tomorrow, he saddles 2 horses in the French 2,000 guineas, Diego Velasquez and Henry Longfellow, and it's perfectly reasonable to assume that either one of those two could even win tomorrow and then go to Epsom in 3 weeks. So literally the trials for the Derby and Oaks, they're coming on a day-by-day basis right now. It's an exciting time of year.
Thanks, John. Plenty more from John throughout the afternoon. That Oaks trial is at 2:25 at Lingfield Park, and then the Derby trial is at 3 o'clock. So we'll go to John for both of those races. The big cricket story of the day concerns Jimmy Anderson, who has confirmed that he will play the final test of his international career at Lord's against the West Indies in July. He put a statement on Instagram. It began with, "It's been an incredible 20 years representing my country, playing the game I've loved since I was a kid. I'm going to miss walking out for England so much, but I know the time is right to step aside and let others realise their dreams just like I got to, because there is no greater feeling." He ended it with, "Thank you to everyone who's supported me over the years. It's always meant a lot, even if my face doesn't often show it. See you at the test. Go well, Jimmy." We have our first international cricket of the summer as well. Today it takes place at Edgbaston later. England's women taking on Pakistan in the first of 3 T20s. You can watch it on BBC Two and iPlayer from 2:15. You can listen to it on Sports Extra. World Cup winner Georgia Elwys, part of the TMS team for this one. Afternoon, Georgia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We were talking to Henry and Ebony earlier and talking about what a big year this is. And Heather Knight has called it a huge year for England.
Yeah, a huge 12 months ahead. 2 World Cups and an Ashes series. A young side that's sort of finding their feet, finding a new way under their coach John Lewis, and look full of confidence, to be honest with you. Look like they're enjoying their cricket, and I think the first real test of this summer comes today.
Did they start to find their feet when they were in New Zealand and some new faces there whilst the Women's Premier League was going on?
Yeah, I think so. I think that little clash allowed the likes of Lindsay Smith to come into the side, who's kept her place in the squad for this summer, which is brilliant to see, and allowed the likes of Lauren Filer and Danny Gibson to play bigger roles in the side. And I think it looks like a side that is really enjoying what they're doing. They're going about their business with smiles on their faces, which is good to see. And you can see that there's real depth in the squad. A notable omission from this squad for this summer is Sophia Dunkley, who's been in brilliant form in the domestic competition. But I think that shows the strength that we're starting to get around the sides of the squad as well. So a massive 12 months. And I think the girls now coming in and playing are enjoying what they're doing, but they're knowing that they have to perform, because quite quickly behind them there's somebody who could step in and take their spot if they don't.
Thank you, Georgia. Georgia Elwys, part of the TMS team, 2:15 on Sports Extra, or on the iPlayer or on BBC Two. Deadlock has been broken at Wembley in the Vars final. Aaron.
Romford are now 2-0 up, Mark. You've missed 2 goals because but in quick succession, Romford have capitalised on some really slack, great wakering defending. They were trying to play out from the back initially. The ball given away with Charlie Morris intercepting and feeding through Hassan Nalban, who buried home on his right foot for his 31st goal of the season. And then just now, we've seen Sam Deering able to latch on to a bit of a poor clearance from the great wakering goalkeeper Louis Shamshoom. So in the space of a couple of minutes, it is Great Wakering 0, Romford 2. Romford with a commanding lead in this FA Vars final.
Our base from 3 o'clock, the London Stadium. West Ham take on Luton. Ian Dennis is there. Have they got stuff out already to say goodbye to David Moyes?
Well, I don't think there'll be many grand gestures towards David Moyes today. I think he's going to want it quite low key, but certainly he adorns the front cover of the match programme, and the manager himself has covered 2 pages of his programme notes as well, in which he says the club is in a stronger position than it's been for many years. Expectations have risen, something that's a good feeling for any manager and a sign of positive progress for any club. He says, "I finished this season feeling that the club has moved forward over my time here, and I hope that when you all look back, you will feel the same."
Well, actually, that was one of the things the West Ham podcast said this week, Ian, was that one of David Moyes' problems was that he himself had raised expectations.
Well, he has. I mean, I know Declan Rice, when they won the Europa Conference League, felt he was the best manager that West Ham United have ever had. And there's a very experienced and respected journalist by the name of Ken Dyer, who's covered West Ham for many a year. And he, in the programme, he says, I wouldn't go that far. You think of Ron Greenwood and John Lyall. But David Moyes, during his time, today it's the 100th and final game in his 2 spells in charge, has given West Ham United 2 top 7 finishes, back-to-back, never achieved before in their top flight history, and obviously their first major trophy in 43 years, and expectations have risen. But also, that the hard facts are that when you look back at the Premier League in 2024, he's won just 3 of 17 games in the Premier League. That said, I think the way it's been handled, he could have been shown a little bit more respect, because obviously news or talks of Julian Lopetegui agreeing to take over emerged before it was actually confirmed that David Moyes was leaving his post. So in that respect, I think David Moyes should have been shown a little bit more respect.
Back with Ian later. Paul Robinson will be alongside him for that game at the London Stadium. And today, depending on what happens, Luton and Burnley could both be relegated. Luton at West Ham, Burnley are at Tottenham, Forest host Chelsea later on. Just back underway in the Old Firm. Celtic 2-1 up. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Yes,
Pat Nevin. Sorry.
Bit keen. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, only just had time to finish the half-time pie as well. I was so eager to get stuck back in. Pat Nevin did really well to beat the crowds. Head in there, get a cup of tea, get one of those small. They're sort of bite-sized, small, circular, delicious pies, and Pat and I wolfed those down.
I had the macaroni cheese pie. It was better.
Oh, really? Very good. Lovely. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. Celtic win this game. The title is practically theirs. They'll be 6 points clear with 2 games to go. 1 point will absolutely guarantee that. And if you did miss any of that first half, Rangers down to 10 men. John Lundstrom went flying in on a really poor challenge late in the first half on Celtic's right back, Alistair Johnston. He got sent off for that. They've made a change, Rangers, at half-time, Pat. Ross McCausland, the 20-year-old Northern Irishman, has come on and started wide right. And Dujon Sterling, we were talking about his versatility, who was playing on the right wing, has now dropped in at centre-back.
Yeah, and they'll play a 4-4-1, which is a tough, it's quite open. You've still got 2 wingers, so there's every chance that Rangers could still create chances, but we need to get the ball. And Celtic with 10 men, 11 men against 10, are usually very good at that.
Yeah, McCausland on for John Souttar. That's the Rangers change. Challenge on Greg Taylor for Celtic, the left back, as he got the cross in. No foul from McCausland. Ball is cleared by Rangers, and this second half has started at a steady pace. Celtic fans around us still returning to their seats. And here's Cameron Carter-Vickers, their centre-back, running away from the Rangers goal scorer Cyril Dessers, who nodded in from close range just after the Rangers had gone 2-0 down. Hatate fires a layoff back on the edge of the box. No one there initially for Celtic. It does run to Carter-Vickers in the end. Liam Scales well forward, the centre-back for Celtic. 35 yards from goal. McGregor has the ball at his feet, plays it to O'Reilly. Jinking skills from him, low shot. Trying to beat Butland with the eyes and beat him at his near post. Drags it just wide. And that will be a goal kick for Rangers. Early stages of the second half at Craven Cottage. John Southall.
Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. Double change for Fulham now at half-time. Kearney and Traore have come on for Willian and De Cordova-Reid. They just somehow need to try and get back into this. Fulham 0, Man City 1.
West Ham Luton, your 3 o'clock commentary on 5 Live this afternoon. 5 other Premier League games kicking off at 3 o'clock as well. We've got full commentary on Nottingham Forest Chelsea at 5:30. And tomorrow Manchester United Arsenal in full kicks off at 4:30. That is after the Women's FA Cup final. Full commentary on that as well. That game kicks off at 2:30. Manchester United against Tottenham. Hatate encouraged to shoot. Big deflection, behind it goes, Pat Nevin, for a corner to Celtic.
OK, so it's obvious Rangers have got a big problem. 4-4-1 they're playing just now. But that means they've only got 2 real midfielders in that central area. Against Celtic with an extra man, it looks to me like Celtic are going to get plenty of shots off round about the D sort of area. Not sure the system's going to work.
3 derbies so far this season. Celtic won the first at Ibrox in September with a Kyogo goal. Won 2-1 at Celtic Park in December. There was the tub-thumping blockbuster of 3-3 at Ibrox last month. There's the corner into the far post. Butland, big man, stretches out a right arm and punches the ball away to the left-hand side for Rangers. Cleared down the line and out for a Celtic throw. What have you spotted here? Pat's just in conversation with
somebody who's a Lisbon Lion walking in right in front of us, Jim Craig, fullback.
There he is, Jim Craig, in the green Celtic tie, blue blazer in front of us as Hatate plays the ball back to Greg Taylor. Taylor tries to wriggle away from the challenge of Fabio Silva. McGregor plays it to his left to Hatate. Hatate's pass is blocked. Here's Fabio Silva now on the right for Rangers, looking for the run of Dessers into the Celtic half. Scales has it covered and plays it back to Joe Hart.
It's going to be a tough gig for Dessers. I mean, he was finding it tough enough as it was, but now he's going to have to do all that work on his own. And the problem is he's a decently quick player, but he's not fast, and he certainly isn't faster than Scales. So it could be a long 45 minutes for Dessers if he lasts it.
Pattern of the second half looks set. Celtic have every single outfield player in the green and white in an attacking position here away to our left, attacking that Jock Steen stand. Here's McGregor, edge of the penalty area, low shot, deflected, the ball spins away. Silva will get there first for Rangers, flicks it up in the air, beats Taylor, runs with the ball, but Maeder's quick and strong and gets in front of him and wins it back for Celtic. That's one of the loudest cheers we've had all afternoon.
Oh, they absolutely love Maeder. I mean, the work rate of that guy is, I mean, I got some stats before the game. It's something like 40% more sprints than any other player. Not just a bit better, miles better than any other player in the league. It's extraordinary.
Tireless runner. Forrest plays the ball into O'Reilly. Was he tripped? Penalty for Celtic. This could be the moment they stick this away. It's a 2-goal cushion. Rangers down to 10 men. They complain about the decision. Willie Collum is on the spot. VAR will have a look. O'Reilly with a lovely turn inside the Rangers box. What do you think, Pat Nevin?
Well, he's turned there, and if you're the defender and he's got beyond you, you have to get out of the way. You can't leave your feet in there to take him out. I don't think it's a deliberate trip, but you've got to get back a little bit and give him space. He's got right away there, so I have to say I would be really surprised if referee Willie Collins asked to change his mind, because it's not an obvious and clear error.
No, it's Diamande who clips Matt O'Reilly's left leg. O'Reilly's pulling it back probably to shoot at that point, and Diamande runs into his path.
I'd be amazed if they changed that at all.
Well, Matt O'Reilly was tripped. He's the penalty taker for Celtic at the moment. Scored one in the derby last month. That was a clever little dink, actually, so I wonder what he's going to try and do against Jack Butland this afternoon, if indeed Celtic do get this penalty.
It's quite slow. They're usually a little bit quicker here. Quite slow to make this decision. Look at everything. They want to get it right. They know if they get anything wrong in these situations, the VAR, they get hammered.
Willie Collum, I thought he was about to put the whistle to his lips here. He's still waiting for the final word from the video assistant referee. Celtic leading Rangers 2-1. Manchester City 1-0 up at Fulham. Rangers down to 10 men.
It's rotten if you're the penalty taker. You have to wait all this time, and especially if he knows he was clipped.
So Matt O'Reilly, the penalty taker, has sort of moved himself away. Oh, hang on, Willie Collum's being sent to the screen. This might get overturned.
Do you know what? I hate it when I'm looking at a third angle there. And you could make the argument that his leg goes out towards the Rangers defender. It's just one angle. All the other angles say it was clearly clipped. You know what? As a player, I would be given that as a penalty, because he's run across the back of him. Your legs, you're going to try and move your legs to get it out, but there's one angle that looks as if he's put his leg out. That's not a fair angle. For me, that's not a fair angle. And it looks as if he's deliberately thrown his foot out, and you know I hate that.
Yes.
I don't think he's doing that, but from one angle, it looks like that. So there is a chance that Willie Collum might be tempted.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the one that Kai Havertz won for Arsenal against Bournemouth the other day. No, that's what I mean. Havertz was dragging the foot there and looking for the contact. Here, O'Reilly actually looks like he's putting his foot in a natural position, and Diamande has just stepped into his path. Willie Collum has the decision to make, though. This is taking an absolute age.
Tough call. I tell you what, it is a tough call. I mean, I would be, if it was me, I'd be giving a penalty kick.
Here he comes.
But I'm not sure he will.
Yes.
He will.
Stays with his decision. Willie Collum comes running out onto the pitch and points back at the penalty spot.
I think he got it right. I honestly do think he got it right. But it's not that clear-cut a decision. You know, there is a clip at the back. If you slow it down from one angle, it looks as if he moves his leg tiny wee bit out towards the defender. But that's a natural movement if you're trying to get your body out there to try and have a shot. I suspect most Rangers fans won't agree with that. But in all seriousness, most of the time that penalty kick's given, and most referees aren't even asked to go over and look.
Pat Nevin with us here at Celtic Park on BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. Matt O'Reilly, cool as a cucumber, eventually walks towards the penalty spot and plonks the ball down on it. Seconds before he was doing keepy-ups, turning his back to the action while Jack Butland was talking to Callum McGregor. The referee was involved. He was surrounded by Rangers players. This could seal it for Celtic today, up against 10 men. O'Reilly from the penalty spot, it's poor. Butland dives to his left and palms it away. He guessed the right way. There wasn't much power on that from Matt O'Reilly. It remains 2-1.
It's a terrible penalty kick. I think he waits for Butland to move, but Butland leaves it very, very late. And then when he does move, he's gone the right way. And that, I'll be honest with you, both of us could have saved that.
Yeah.
It's a really poor penalty.
I agree with you, Pat. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. Certainly keeps this game interesting. Celtic have Joe Hart in goal. Back four of Johnston, Carter Vickers, Scales and Taylor. O'Reilly's just missed that penalty. Is on the score sheet already today alongside McGregor and Hatate. Here comes Celtic again. Up to the edge of the Rangers box. Cross in from the right-hand side from O'Reilly is blocked and goes out for a Celtic throw. James Forrest, Dyson Maeda, either side of the centre-forward Kyogo. There's been a Rangers reshuffle after the sending off of John Lundstrom, which sees Dujon Sterling now at centre-back alongside Ben Davis. Barisic and Tavernier are the full-backs. Diamande in that midfield with Tom Lawrence and Fabio Silva all in support of Cyril Dessers. Carter Vickers bringing it forward. Cross in from the right-hand side. Headed up in the air by Davis. Ball drops inside the Rangers box. Another header there from Sterling. Looked like Johnston got a little nudge in the back as he went for that ball. Play on though. Here's Celtic on the ball. Callum McGregor 25 yards out. Kyogo looking for a little flick there into the path of Johnston. The ball is cleared away and out for a Celtic throw on the left.
This is hard work for Rangers, and they cannot get out. I was going to say they cannot get out their own half. They cannot get out of their own 18-yard line at the moment. Celtic are playing this very well, holding the wall, but not doing it slowly, zipping it quickly, asking lots of questions of Rangers. That must be exhausting to play against.
Yeah, Celtic keeping the pace up. They've taken the throw in. Scales threading one through to Kyogo. The ball runs away from him, but it runs to Callum McGregor. Scales, there's a run from Kyogo, decides not to release that pass, plays it across to his fellow centre-back Carter Vickers. Looked like he was winding up for a pile driver there. Celtic continue to play around the box, and then another ball looking for the runner. Hatate ends up in the arms of Jack Butland. Fulham Manchester City's being watched by John Southall.
And here come Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. It's down the right-hand side with Traore. Little flick from Muniz, and there's the goalkeeper to save it. Edison with his right hand just got there. It's better from Fulham. Arsenal fans will be pleased about that, but it's Fulham 0, Manchester City 1.
Yeah, Arsenal fans want the drop points at some point from Manchester City in these closing stages of the season, but City still leading by a goal to nil. Rangers fans hoping against hope at the moment. Another change coming for them in a second. It looks like it'll be a couple of changes. Yilmaz and Raskin will be the two players to come on for Rangers. Celtic keeping the pace up here. Scales passes the ball to Maeda on the left-hand side. Maeda has got Tavernier just backing away from him. Corner of the penalty area. Rolls it back to McGregor. McGregor's got time and space. Finds O'Reilly. Lays it off to Johnston. Into the path of Johnston now. Cuts it back into the near post. Nearly fell for Kyogo. And hurriedly cleared away by Ben Davis for Rangers.
But it is lovely the way Celtic play that way, isn't it? Nice little neat 1-2s. Everybody's running. Everyone's moving. There's always 2 or 3 options for you if you're on the ball. Again, if you're a midfield player or a wide player on the ball, it's an absolute joy that there's that willingness to run and make space and make your job easier. So they're looking good at the moment, but Rangers will keep on trying different things, and they're going to try something now.
Yeah, double change coming for Rangers. Oh, we're checking a possible penalty here as well for a handball.
I don't think anyone claimed for that.
No, and it's been waved away pretty quickly as well.
They couldn't make the change there, obviously, because they didn't know what was going to happen. So they've not made that change.
2 Rangers subs still waiting. 13 minutes flash by in the second half here at Celtic Park. Full commentary on West Ham Luton on the way at 3 o'clock. Ian Dennis and Paul Robinson will bring you that one. Team news from the 3 o'clock kickoffs coming in about 10 minutes or so. Here's Taylor. Taylor plays the ball to his right hand side. Celtic just working the space around the Rangers penalty area. McGregor lines up a shot. Butland very nearly spills that into the 6-yard box, is able to grab it just before James Forrest closes in. Another goal at Craven Cottage, John Southall.
Manchester City have their second, Fulham 0, Manchester City 2. Phil Foden, about 16 yards out, has just guided the ball into the bottom left-hand corner in front of the Manchester City fans, and they are celebrating in that far corner now. What an important goal that is in the title race. Fulham 0, Manchester City 2.
So win for Manchester City takes them 2 points clear of Arsenal, who play tomorrow. Celtic leading Rangers 2-1 here. Rangers still waiting to get the 2 substitutes on, having already made a change at half-time to get Ross McCausland into the action. McGregor's ball. Shot lined up from the edge of the box, takes a double deflection, Maida's there, sticks it away, and then the offside flag goes up and it rules that goal out for now.
It did look extremely offside when the ball gets through to him, but you never know, they will check it. I mean, the Celtic have getting so many chances, so many areas that they're going to, and I'm watching again just now, and yes, he is offside.
Yeah, it was Matt O'Reilly's right-footed strike. He's had so many shots from that sort of range this afternoon. Has found the back of the net with one of them. He's missed the penalty as well. Soft penalty. Chip to Butland's left, which he was able to palm away. Rangers now getting ready to make the double change. And the first player to come off is Tom Lawrence. So Tom Lawrence will be replaced by the Belgian Nicolas Raskin, who joined just over a year ago from Standard Liège. And the other change sees Borna Barisic come off, and he'll be replaced at left back by Ridvan Yilmaz, who comes jogging onto the field in his blue Rangers shirt, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. And we'll get back underway with the Rangers free kick for the Maida offside. Half an hour to go. Celtic leading 10-man Rangers by 2-1.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's 1 or 2 nervous Celtic fans around because it's still only 2-1. You've missed a penalty. You've been around long enough to know that mad things can happen. Now, it's still very unlikely because Celtic have got most of the play. They're holding the ball well. They're playing well. Rangers haven't created any chances, but until that third goal goes in for Celtic, they won't be able to completely relax.
O'Reilly flicks the ball into the path of Johnston, shoulder to shoulder with Silva. The Rangers man wins that battle inside his own penalty area, tries to dribble away from trouble, half tackled, and the ball runs away for a Rangers throw inside their own half on the left.
What Rangers will need to hold out for is the way Celtic play. They do play high tempo, and they might be hoping that Celtic will tire. We've seen that in games before. Celtic tire in 10-15 minutes before the end of the game, when the game's usually won anyway. The problem for Rangers is they play with 10 men. They're going to be tired too.
Diamande pokes the ball back into his own half. Here's Yilmaz with his first touch since coming off the bench. Plays it back to the centre-back Ben Davis. Davis, high lofted ball down that left-hand side, covered by Carter Vickers. Dessers tries to put him under pressure. Carter Vickers just holds his position, and it goes behind for the goal kick. And Joe Hart takes that immediately and gives it to Liam Scales. Rangers players back off, so Scales comes jogging up towards the halfway line. Fair-haired defender, shirt untucked in the green and white hoops, crosses the halfway line looking for options. There's Hatate, who immediately side-foots a pass back to Scales. Another 1-2 with McGregor. And McGregor bounces off Raskin in the midfield. So much space though for Celtic to work with. Here's Forrest. Skips past the challenge of Yilmaz, 25 yards out in the inside right channel, lays it back to McGregor. McGregor's chip ball towards the far post. Maida can't get there, it goes behind for the goal kick. Back to Craven Cottage, John Southall.
Fulham 0, Man City 2. Could have been 3 though. Erling Haaland, of all people, on the right of the penalty area, threw on goal, scooped it over the bar. He could not believe he'd missed it. Fulham 0, Man City 2.
All the reaction to today's football, as always, in the Football Daily podcast, available for you via the BBC Sounds app. Rangers bringing the ball away down the left. They've won themselves a throw. Pat Neville.
Interesting what Brendan Rodgers does here. I mean, he's not made any changes, but these teams playing well. You know, they don't look tired or anything. So you ask yourself the question, why change it? On the other hand, some fresh legs. When Rangers are tiring, you must be tempted by that at some point. But Brendan Rodgers, he would just love another goal.
Oh, clever turn from Kyogo. Then he tries to knock the ball past Sterling and pick it up the other side. It didn't quite work, and then Kyogo comes rushing in to try and win it back, knocks Yilmaz over, and that will be a free kick for Rangers.
But the one piece of good news I would say for Rangers is they're trying to be positive. They're leaving 3 men up. McCausland's up there. I mean, he's as I say that, he falls on his backside, but he's staying up. Dessers is trying to stay up. and obviously got Fabio Silva trying to get forward as often as he can as well.
Slightly loose ball back from Maida, gave Dessers a chance. Scales reacted to the danger, got there first, shoved over by Dessers, but played his pass to Carter Vickers. There's the space for Carter Vickers, runs forward 40 yards unchallenged. Then Raskin comes across to close it down, and the ball is released here to Callum McGregor. Still pulling the strings, and Brendan Rodgers would clearly love the 2-goal cushion, which they would have had Matt O'Reilly been able to stick the penalty away. If Celtic win this game, it's Rangers Dundee at Ibrox on Tuesday. Celtic win here today, and Rangers were to drop points in that game on Tuesday night, then it is already over. And if Celtic win this game today, it is pretty much all over, bar the shouting. Carter Vickers towards McGregor. Rangers are chasing, which is going to be tiring. Here's Johnston. Oh, that's O'Reilly uses his body well. Then a little switch pass again to Johnston. Cross comes in, it's behind everyone, runs through the penalty area and goes out for a throw into Rangers.
It's that play we've been talking about all afternoon, isn't it? When they get to the 18-yard line, every player moves, but they don't move always in the directions you expect them to move. There's such a positivity and an attack-mindedness about them that players are coming from deep midfield, and as a defender, that must be horrendous to try and pick up everyone who's making these really unusual and interesting runs.
James Tavernier has the ball for Rangers. They're still in touch here. They're trailing by 2-1, down to 10 men. The rash challenge from John Lundstrom just before half-time. Tavernier can't decide where to release the ball. Down the line he goes. Dessers flicks it on. Carter Vickers steps in, heads it away, falls to Fabio Silva. Dessers surely offside there, but the pass is way beyond him, and Joe Hart has it.
Well, we were in a better position than the linesman, the assistant referee there. He was definitely offside. But it shows there are wee chances to break. Silva was up there as well. The ball couldn't get played. Dessers is working his socks off, but it's very, very hard for Rangers, and it'll get harder every single minute in this warm afternoon.
Here's Forrest, who's going to take on Silva on the right. Support from Johnston, but he plays it back to McGregor. McGregor across to the edge of the box. There's Greg Taylor. Short little pass here to Johnston. Scoops it up in the air. O'Reilly's there, trying to turn inside the penalty area. Rangers get bodies around him and flick the ball away. Celtic fans getting a little frustrated in front of us. They think it's getting a bit too pretty and intricate and clever. On the turn here is Kyogo. Shot deflected again. This one falls to Greg Taylor. Couple of touches. Curling ball in towards the far post. Running onto that is Forrest looking to get there. Yilmaz sticks out a leg, knocks it behind for a Celtic corner.
Brilliant defending by Yilmaz, because that ball was put in that horrible position. Well, you don't know what to do. You've got your back to the goal, but Yilmaz well aware that Forrest was chasing in at the back post there. But once again, Rangers pegged right in there. They just can't get out just now.
Just relentless Celtic pressure at the moment against 10-man Rangers. Manchester City 2-0 up at Fulham. That is going to put the pressure on Arsenal, who go to Manchester United tomorrow. Celtic putting the pressure on Rangers here, closing in on a third consecutive title. Scales pass, takes a deflection. Tavernier intercepts. This is the chance to get out. Ball forward. Scales mops it up, chests it down and plays it to Carter Vickers.
You know, every time Scales gets the ball now, there's a ripple of understanding applause, isn't there? He's been fabulous today.
Excitement now inside Celtic Park. James Forrest on the move. Ball at his feet, taking on Fabio Silva, heading for the byline, just off balance slightly. Challenge comes in. Another corner for Celtic.
Yep, he gets himself in a good position. Asks the question of the defender. The amount of white players at the moment that don't want to take on the defender. Well, Forrest does it every single time, and again, well done Fabio Silva, I have to say it. Give him a stick in the pass, but he has put in a shift today.
Celtic work the corner short. Here's O'Reilly, left-footed cross deep. Butland has it covered. It's an easy catch for him at the back post. The Rangers manager Philippe Clement, one of the things he said this week was likening this game, this atmosphere, to sort of gladiators for the players back in the day in the Colosseum. I think John Lundstrom may have just taken those instructions a little too far today. The ball is at the feet of Liam Scales. Excitement inside the stadium again. Scales forward to Taylor. Taylor wide to Hatate, just inside the Rangers half. Brendan Rodgers sticks out a right arm. He's very close to Hatate there and points where he wants the pass to be played, and Hatate duly obliges, and Celtic just keeping the ball at the moment inside their own half, and they use Joe Hart.
The amount of teams that would do this, and the fans would be applauding them and saying, yeah, this is great, 2-1 up, legs in the bag, you know, enjoy it. It's just not the culture at Celtic. No, it's always, you know, scoring an early goal, press on regardless. The fans expect them to keep on going here and make this a party, and maybe that's the frustration that we're seeing here. They want to start a party, but they can't really start it until they get another goal.
Celtic 2, Rangers 1. That's the voice of Pat Nevin on BBC Radio 5 Live. We've got West Ham Luton, full commentary on the way at 3 o'clock from the Premier League. Celtic get the ball up to the edge of the Rangers area. Greg Taylor is tackled. The ball is cleared towards Dessers, who's got so much to do here. On his own inside the Celtic half. Holds off Carter Vickers. Gets some support. Turns. Then his cross is headed straight up in the air. Falls to McCausland. Little touch from him. Trying to get it down onto the left foot to shoot. Ran away from him. Cleared for a Rangers throw.
And it's just those little moments. I mean, Dessers did well there to hold it up. He was never going to run away from anyone. However, the ball took a ricochet. It fell to McCausland. Look, it was an impossibly hard shot he had to take on there if he was going to take it on. But tiny little half chances. That's all Rangers need or want at the moment.
Celtic getting ready to make a change. Leading Rangers 2-1. Here's Yilmaz for 10-man Rangers. Left-footed ball looking for the run of Silva. Johnston gets the first touch. Silva knocks him off it. Here is Silva. Hits the shot. It's over the bar from the edge of the box. Decent effort though. Goal kick for Celtic.
Yeah, and he's worked really, really hard. We're talking about his defending at left back there. And he's chased up there and got a shot just over the crossbar. And right now, Fabio Silva's administering a little bit of medical help to a Celtic player. I wonder if that's a first. An old firm derby. That's quite incredible. That you never ever see that. And Fabio Silva, who, to be fair, was probably enemy number one around here, having stolen that off Cantwell. There's a few Celtic fans going, well, you're not throwing yourself about anymore, and you helped one of our players.
Yeah, endearing himself ever so slightly to the Celtic fans. Just over 20 minutes to play. Adam Eder, the striker, waiting to come on for Celtic, who lead Rangers by 2-1. And it looks like Nicholas Kuhn, who was left out of the side today for Dyson Maeda, is coming on too. Raskin's having his shirt tugged there by McGregor. Celtic lost the ball on the halfway line. McGregor had to kill it, he felt, and he is booked for the challenge.
That's a very intelligent, inverted commas thing to do from McGregor. Real danger coming out there, and told him back, but he has to be careful going forward in the game.
Yeah, Callum McGregor is booked. Kyogo is the first to come off here for Celtic. They're going to make a double change. Nicholas Kuhn is coming on too, so Adam Eder will come on for Kyogo. We'll wait to see who Nicholas Kuhn comes on for.
It's got to be Forrest.
And it is going to be James Forrest. You're spot on, Pat. Right, 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League. Our commentary game is at the London Stadium. West Ham, Luton. Ian Dennis has the team news.
Luton Town are unchanged from the side that drew with Everton last Friday. One change for West Ham United. James Ward-Prowse comes in for Alvarez in midfield.
Another goal at Craven Cottage today, John Southall.
Well, it's definitely all over now. Fulham 0, Manchester City 3, and would you believe it's Gvardiol again with his second of the game, sliding in at the far post to tuck it in, and City are cruising. Fulham 0, Manchester City 3.
Josko Gvardiol. Well.
Well, not massively shocked in the end.
No.
If he'd watched him before he came to Manchester City, particularly playing for his national team as well, playing at centre back, he is world class in the making. You know, he really is extra special. You're beginning to see it now, but there is so much more to come from that lad.
So Manchester City leading Fulham by 3-0. Scott Wright is waiting to come on for Rangers. They trail Celtic by 2-1. Celtic well in control of this game and the title race, with Rangers down to 10 men. Tottenham-Burnley's a big game for Burnley in the relegation battle. Maz Faruqi has the team news.
2 changes by Ange Postecoglou. Oliver Skipp and James Maddison replacing Emerson Royale and Rodrigo Bentancur, who only make the Spurs bench. 1 change for Burnley. Captain Josh Brownhill is a substitute. Charlie Taylor comes in at the back, so Josh Cullen skippers the side today.
Thank you, Maz. Carter Vickers plays the ball into the feet of Adam Eder. Eder, who scored Celtic's 3rd goal at Ibrox last month, thought he'd won that game there. Rangers came back and pegged Celtic back. Great dribbling here on the right-hand side. What a run this is. Then the shot is deflected and balloons up over the crossbar. Nicholas Kuhn, with his first action in the game, beats 2 men and was trying to stick it in the top corner.
Yeah, that would have been one of the great goals of the whole firm derbies over the years. As you say, beats 2 men, tries to take it round the third. Good but desperate tackle there, and Kuhn has added that little bit of energy, and as we speak, I think that might be Johnson has gone down again. He's cramped. Remember, he did get that smack early on in the game, which may have had an effect on him.
Yeah, it was John Lundstrom's tackle on Alistair Johnston. He is sitting down at the moment inside the Rangers half, breaking play while he'll receive a bit of treatment, but I think he's already signalled to the bench that he's not going to be able to continue, which would suggest that Anthony Ralston will come on for Celtic. While we wait for that change, let's get the team news from St James's Park. Newcastle face Brighton today. Will Perry.
One Newcastle change from the win at Burnley. Anderson in for Wilson, who's not involved. Trippier's back on the bench. One change to the Brighton team that beat Aston Villa, and Ciso in for the injured Joao Pedro.
Alistair Johnston, Canadian international, gets a standing ovation as he leaves the field here at Celtic Park. Ralston just checking the socks are okay, shoelaces done up before he heads into the action here. Bournemouth-Brentford kicks off at 3 o'clock in the Premier League. Team news on this one from Sheridan Robbins.
One change for Bournemouth from the 3-0 defeat to Arsenal. Fullback Lloyd Kelly returns from illness. Alex Scott is the one to drop for the French. As for Brentford, they're unchanged from the 0-0 draw against Fulham.
Scott Wright comes on for Fabio Silva, so his afternoon is over. Philippe Clement has a little word with Fabio Silva, just held him back for a second there and gave him a little message in his ear. Celtic corner, leading Rangers 2-1. Hatate is going to take this from the left-hand side. Sticks his left arm up in the air, swings it in with his right foot to the far post. Carter Vickers jumps, foul on the goalkeeper Jack Butland, so Rangers will have a free kick. Pat Murphy has the team news from Molineux. Wolves Crystal Palace.
Palace the same, starting 11 for the third game in a row. Wolves make one change, Doherty in for Santiago Bueno.
Thank you, Pat. Free kick Rangers. Jack Butland is waving players forward. Still slightly nervy for Celtic fans, having missed the penalty in this second half from the left boot of Matt O'Reilly, leading by 2-1. Win this game and the title is practically there. Scales plays the ball forward to Callum McGregor. Last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League at Goodison Park. Everton, Sheffield United. Katie Smith.
And two changes for both sides. For Everton, Seamus Coleman and Amadou Onana in for Godfrey and Harrison, while already relegated Sheffield United, Arma Hodzic, remember, suspended following his red card. Osborne also out. Vinny Souza and Larucci starting.
Through ball very nearly found Dessers. Then the challenge on Callum McGregor. Celtic get the free kick. Pat Nevin.
Got to be quite, you have to take care of himself, dear man, in the midfield there. He's had a few tackles in there so far. Referee's been quite lenient on him, but Rangers have got a little bit of liveliness out in the wide areas. Two substitutes in the wide areas, Wright and McCausland now, that they need to try and get the ball in the last third, and that, I'm afraid, is the big problem for Rangers just now. They very rarely are getting in, but they're still in it. There's 15 minutes to go. Has Philippe Clement got anything else left up his sleeve that he can do?
Sun is shining at Celtic Park. Celtic fans basking in it. Their team leads Rangers by 2-1 in the game that matters most. Celtic knocking the ball around inside the Rangers half. Bit of frustration with the Celtic fans. That one nearly went out for a Rangers throw. They've kept it in play. McGregor involved again, lays it back to Scales. Celtic fans desperate for this third goal. Scales being urged to get the ball out from under his feet, which he does. Plays a nice pass to Maida. Maida on the outside. Cross comes into the box and Sterling's there to block it for Rangers. That goes behind for a Celtic corner.
You sometimes forget about Maida, but he never stops running. He's always 100 miles an hour. Gets a decent edge cross in there, and that's what happens. He drives the winger back. McCausland then has to come all the way back to try and cover him. And that leaves once again Dessers up on his own, but still 15 or so minutes to go. And Celtic still aren't away from the Rangers yet.
Yeah, leading 2-1. Rangers down to 10 men. John Lundstrom sent off just before half-time. Crazy challenge on Alistair Johnston. Miscontrol from Rio Hatate. Rangers able to bring it away with Scott Wright moving at speed. Fresh legs. He's going to take it past Callum McGregor. He's on the yellow card. He's got to be careful here. Wright holds him off. McGregor does brilliantly to slide in and block the shot. Hatate is back there and knocks it behind for a Rangers corner, and then apologises to the rest of his teammates for causing that problem.
That was honestly a couple of diving in there, but we'll keep on saying it just needs a moment. Just a moment. And Philippe Clement has brought on two wingers with a little bit of pace, and Wright has shown there that three players. I think the referee's looking for a penalty kick there. Not a chance, there was no penalty kick there. But you know, the right pace there. He knows now that there's two or three players that he can do.
Corner for Rangers, trailing 2-1. Yilmaz takes it with his left foot, an in-swinger to the far post. Joe Hart is in amongst the bodies, punches it away with his right hand, and it goes behind for another corner to Rangers from the other side.
There were some questions, the goal that Celtic lost, that Dessler scored in the first half, that maybe the goalkeeper Joe Hart didn't cover himself in glory, and once again he's being jostled by about 6 players there.
Yeah, a whole heap of bodies around him on the goal line here. Stuff being thrown at James Tavernier.
Understandably he's walking away. Actually, do you know, You can't be doing that. I mean, that's where the Celtic inverted commas ultras hang about, and he's taking the coins or whatever it is that's been thrown towards him, to the referee.
Yeah, that corner away to our right-hand side, that little section between the...
There's more stuff.
Yeah, you can see it. Tavernier's going to get on with it though. Whips it into the near post. Ball is headed straight down into the ground. Another chance to clear, only as far as Tavernier. Controls it with his right foot inside the Celtic penalty area. Being moved away from goal, chips the ball into the box, and Joe Hart makes a very comfortable catch. Celtic leading Rangers 2-1. Greg Taylor comes sliding in, wins the ball off Raskin. Handball though by Taylor as he slid in. That will be a free kick to Rangers inside the Celtic half.
That's some spot by the referee, that, because the two players were careering into each other. I actually thought he got the ball clean, but the referee's just a little bit closer than us. Must have spotted it there.
Right, Rio Hatate is coming off for Celtic. He will be replaced by fellow Japanese Tomoki Iwata. Will come into the Celtic midfield. Hatate has not featured consistently throughout this season for Celtic, but his return recently, along with the likes of Callum McGregor, James Forrest finding form on the flank for Celtic as well, has made a real difference for them.
But I do think Hatate, when he's fully fit, does play. Absolutely. He's had quite a number of injuries, but he certainly is a decent game today.
Free kick for Rangers, still fighting. Tavernier, high one, into that Celtic penalty area. Raskin chases it all the way across the byline, takes the corner flag with him in his right hand, just lays that on the floor and leaves it on the pitch just to delay Celtic taking their throw in, but Celtic quite happy they lead 2-1.
No, that's the right thing to do there. If you're the defender, don't you go sticking the flag back in. They'll take a throw and they'll leave you there. You have to get yourself back, get your shape, see if you can still hold off Celtic, which Rangers have managed to do for almost the entirety of this second half. Remember, with the 10 men, there have been a few shots on target. There's not been that many clear-cut opportunities apart from the penalty kick.
10 minutes remaining in the game, plus added time. Celtic with the man advantage, which they've had for all of this second half, and they lead Rangers by 2 goals to 1. About to take a very firm grip on the Scottish Premiership title. Just 1 point needed after this if they win this game to absolutely guarantee it and rubber stamp it. Free kick for Rangers just inside the Celtic half. Ben Davies puts the ball down, wants to take it quickly. The free kick was actually a little bit further forward, so Davies is asked to do that again. Rolls it to Yilmaz.
I mean, I'm surprised the Rangers tried to take that quickly there. They need to probably get the balls into the box as often as they can now. You know, in open play, they've just not been able to create anything, and especially with 10 men. However, set pieces, no problem. Just get everyone in there.
This game is not over yet. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. Rangers free kick comes from deep. Yilmaz kills it into the edge of the box. It bounces inside the Celtic penalty area. Runs out to the right. Tavernier is there first. Mader's with him, of course, for Celtic. Played back to Sterling. Sterling across to Diomande. Diomande chips a ball to his left. That was a really hard one for Scott Wright to deal with. Heads it back to Yilmaz. He's tackled and the ball comes off Yilmaz and goes out for a Celtic throw.
Kind of a snapshot of what's wrong with Rangers in comparison with Celtic. Diomande gets the ball there. There is a ball on. He's got a man to his right, Tavernier, utterly in the clear, in the most dangerous position. Spots him, doesn't play him in. Goes left, loses the ball. Celtic generally make better decisions in midfield. They don't give the ball away that easily. And if there's a position that's open, they play the right ball. Diomande wasn't able to do that.
Those are the thoughts of Pat Nevin. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. Manchester City 3-0 up at Fulham, and moving a couple of points clear of Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table as Celtic attack down the right-hand side. Cross whipped into the near post. Eder's trying to scramble it across the goal line, wouldn't fall for him, and Butland is able to pick it up for Rangers and immediately slings it out to his right to Tavernier.
Well, Eder might claim that he's not quite warmed up yet. Well, it'll be warm enough. It's a warm enough day, but he's not been able to get his feet right. I thought that was a phenomenal chance. Certainly the best chance since the penalty kick.
Celtic fans not happy with that decision made by Willie Collum. Rangers have been given a free kick for a challenge by Iwata in midfield. Another change for Rangers. Cyril Dessers comes off to be replaced by the evergreen Kemar Ruth. 31-year-old now into his 4th season at Rangers. Can he come on and make the difference? The game ends up as a draw. If Rangers are able to peg Celtic back, then it's still a 3-point lead for Celtic with 2 games to go, but it would be 4 points needed to guarantee the title. Rangers play first on Tuesday night against Dundee, so Were this to finish a draw, they could get themselves level on points, put that bit of pressure on Celtic.
Well, it's big pressure because it's Kilmarnock.
Exactly. Tavernier's free kick chip forward, headed on by Raskin. Nodded away only as far as Diamande, went for the left foot curler. McGregor's gone down holding his chest. The wind has been taken out of him there. The ball is still in play. Celtic have it on the right. Ralston plays it to Carter Vickers. Roof with the challenge. Carter Vickers goes down. Celtic get the free kick in the right back position.
Yeah, just to finish that point about Kilmarnock, they have beaten Celtic twice down at Rugby Park this season. And Rangers have lost down there as well. This is not an easy one at Rugby Park, and they'll be up for it. Certainly, you add on the fact that it's a plastic pitch as well.
Yeah,
it's not an easy place to go. So Rangers will be desperate to get a point back here.
Yeah, Celtic 2, Rangers 1. And in terms of those games for Celtic this season, that was one of the things that struck me doing the notes for this game. Celtic have dropped 21 points this season, only 2 of those against Rangers, 19 against the other teams in the division. Rangers have dropped 24 points this season, but 8 of those against Celtic, and 16 of those against the other teams in the division. Celtic looking to kill it here with a third goal. Eder onto the ball. Mader's in the middle, he can't find him. Sterling's in the way to block it, knock it over his own bar. Corner for Celtic.
Oh, come on, is that the best piece of defending you've seen today there? Oh, what a horrible position you get yourself into. It's not his fault there, but he positions himself brilliantly there, Sterling, but he still has so much to do to put it over the crossbar from about 3 yards. Does so brilliantly. I think he'll be smiling, pleased with himself with that.
Fulham 0, Manchester City 3 it remains. Closing stages at Craven Cottage. Closing stages here too. Corner for Celtic. O'Reilly's delivery straight into the hands of Butland.
He thinks about playing it quickly there, but there's just not enough bodies up there.
Oh, it's a shame McCausland couldn't control that for Rangers because he was in a bit of space on the right hand side. Callum McGregor was back there, and Callum McGregor, before he takes the throw, turns to the fans inside this main stand and with his arm just tries to whip them up for a bit more noise.
I think it's because there's so much tension around. I mean, Celtic fans would normally be having the party and singing all the way to the end of the game. That's what he wants to see.
Eder's back heel into the path of Mader. Mader causing problems for Sterling. Rangers have scrambled this ball away. Might run to Kuhn on the right hand side. Support on the outside from Ralston. Nicholas Kuhn though keeps the ball at his feet. Plays it back to Iwata. Cross it comes to Ralston. O'Reilly makes the run. Right footed cross into the near post. Eder tries to get the shot away. That's good defending too. Shot blocked by Ben Davis.
He's found himself in great positions, Eder. He always gets there. He's looking a wee bit more lively than Kyogo Furuhashi when he was on. But Rangers have defended stoutly in the second half. I mean, the changes they've had to make in the central defensive area, I mean, not just for this, not just during the game, but before this game, quite a lot. So you've got to say well done that Rangers back line, particularly in the second half.
We tick over into the 87th minute of this game. Celtic 2, Rangers 1. If Celtic get the win, 6 points clear with 2 games to go. The better goal difference improved by 1 today, and more goals scored as well. Rangers thought they had the ball there inside the Celtic half. Kuhn comes back to make a tackle for Celtic. Ralston plays it back to Carter Vickers. Now Joe Hart looking for an option. Sliding challenge from Roof. Hart will tell you he had it under control.
He'll tell you that. And he partially was slightly winding them up, but I think he went a lot closer than he thought. Almost get caught by McCausland. Don't take chances like that. 4 minutes ago.
Mader using the pace, still got the pace late in the game, taking on Sterling. Sterling sticks with him, knocks it behind for another Celtic corner. You can't hear yourself think at the moment.
Yeah, and it's really exciting. Having said that, watching Sterling, we've seen him play right wing, we've seen him playing left back. I think centre-back's his position. Yeah. Honestly do. He has been fabulous in that area in this second half.
24 years old, Dujon Sterling. First season here at Rangers, having joined from Chelsea. Most of his football in his time at Chelsea on loan, though, to the likes of Coventry, Wigan, Blackpool and Stoke in the heat of the Old Firm derby at the moment. Rangers down to 10 men, trailing 2-1. This ball one off O'Reilly. And then a trip on Diamande. The free kick is given. Heading towards the 89th minute of the game. Added time to come as well. And if Rangers can nick themselves an equaliser somehow...
You know, they just want a corner, you know, a free kick in an area where they can go and lump it in. It's getting to the stage where you'd just tell Butland to go up, wouldn't you?
Butland takes the free kick. Roof jumps brilliantly to beat Scales in the air. Headed away by Ralston. Kuhn with the next header. The ball bounces inside the Celtic half. Mader jumps right through the back of Diamande. Concedes a free kick. This is what Rangers want.
Yeah, And it's not in a great area for a free kick to lump it into the box, and they're not even going to do that.
No, they take it short. 89th minute of the game. Diomande definitely caught there by McGregor on the yellow card. Diomande goes down. Free kick for Rangers, 10 yards inside the Celtic half in a central position.
He thought about it, didn't he?
Didn't he? I saw his hand go in there, Pat.
Willie Collum absolutely considered going for a yellow card, realised he'd already given one out to McGregor.
Tavernier's free kick, dealt with, headed away. Nicholas Kuhn. 60,000 screaming Celtic fans urging him on as he sprints down the right. Maida is lurking at the far post. Kuhn is going to try and fight him. Maida chests it down, drives the shot into the back of the net. And the flag is up, it won't count. 60,000 people on their feet, and suddenly the whole thing is brought to a silence.
It's such a surprise because you shouldn't be offside there. He should have held his run, but he didn't. And the referee, the assistant referee's got that right. Big call in that moment. They'll double check it, but I think the assistant referee's got that one spot on.
90th minute of the game. Celtic fans still on their feet all around us. The shot went under Jack Butland.
They just cannot get this party started, can they?
No.
They've had a penalty, they've had the ball in the net, they've had lots of chances in the second half, they've got into great positions, but it's still a concern, it's still a worry.
More comfortable for Manchester City in the Premier League today, leading 3-0 away to Fulham. West Ham Luton commentary on the way at 3, followed by Nottingham Forest Chelsea at 5:30. After your usual edition of Sports Report with Mark Chapman at 5 o'clock. Ball down the right from Raskin. McCausland keeps that ball in play. McCausland brings it infield for Rangers, lays it off the right, tries to thread it through. Eda's back there, clears it away with his right foot, and now we're going to see just how much added time we're getting at the end of this game for Rangers to try somehow to find themselves an equaliser, just to put a tiny bit more pressure on. Celtic 7 minutes, Pat Nevin.
Yep, probably right amount. There's been a couple of injuries, all those changes have been made as well. Celtic fans are furious there. They were convinced McCausland took the ball out, but the assistant referee, who was not quite close enough, he was only 4 yards away from it.
Butland's long ball. Header won by Raskin. McCausland in space on the right hand side. Cross comes in. Scale stretches out a leg. McGregor hoists the clearance up in the air. Raskin jumps for it. The ball drops just outside the Celtic penalty area. Sterling can't hold off Maida. Maida wins it, and out it goes for a Rangers throw on the halfway line.
Brilliant position. Rangers got themselves in there. McCausland down the right hand side, but this time magnificent defending by Scales. Again, I keep on saying it, he has had a brilliant game today. I always thought he was the junior partner between him and Carter Vickers. Hasn't looked like it today.
Jack Butland with his left foot, another high spinning ball downfield. There's Scales again, wins the header, falls to Maida. Maida plays it to McGregor. McGregor shot from behind. Free kick for Celtic. Iwata sets off, wants a quick one. Celtic are going to take their time. Back to Craven Cottage, John Southall.
Into added time, Fulham 0, Manchester City 3. They've been so comfortable, they've had the luxury of taking off the big guns as well. As it stands, they'll be 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Fulham 0, Man City 3.
Highlights match of the day, BBC 2. Note BBC 2 at 10 o'clock this evening. Yilmaz charging forward for Rangers. Green and white shirts trying to close him down. Yilmaz lays it off to Tavernier. Plays it back to Yilmaz. Hits a good shot. Did that take a deflection? Yes, it did. Corner for Rangers.
Yeah, again, it's a big call to take a shot from there. It's about 35 yards out. Slightly surprised that Tavernier, who was in a good position there, didn't take the chance himself. He is the one player above any other Rangers player you would expect to do it. And by the way, I suggested
the big man, Jack Butland, bright orange, Rangers goalkeeper.
You don't often see this in league games. This is a cup game thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the keeper's up.
5 minutes of added time still to go as well. Celtic leading 2-1.
Big call, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big call.
Butland's already saved the penalty. Can he score the equaliser? Let's see. Yilmaz with his left foot. Corner comes in. Butland goes for it. Carter Vickers wins the header. Maida nods it forward. No one to chase it but Maida himself. He tries his best to do that. Sterling's got it covered. Maida bundles into the back of him, and it goes out for a throw-in to Rangers.
Oh, Butland was desperate for a free kick. He's back up there again. He's got a taste for it. He's a big lad, isn't he? He towers above everyone in that box.
Yeah, making things very awkward for the Celtic defenders. Another long ball forward. Tavernier had come in from the right-hand side. The flick on from Scott Wright's beyond him. Celtic could be in here. Adam Eda's away on the break, bringing the ball forward. Rangers trying to get back in numbers. Eda takes it on, hits the shot across the face of goal. Wide it goes. They cannot score the third.
It's incredible the opportunities they've had. Butland was halfway in his own half. This is like an elongated five-a-side game. It's all over the place now.
End to end we go. Diamande's ball forward at the other end. Roof jumps, Scales battles with him. Joe Hart screams, tries to be heard, says leave it to Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers hears him, and Joe Hart picks the ball up. 3 minutes of added time have gone, 4 minutes still to go.
I mean, you put up with another 10 here. I don't think the players would enjoy so much and be so exhausted, but it's so open.
The amount of space is crazy. Matt O'Reilly trotting forward, just lays the ball off to Nicholas Kuhn on the right. Celtic fans waiting to get this party started in the sunshine. Win this game, it's all but done. 6 points clear with 2 games to go. Iwata to McGregor, and Celtic now taking the sting out of it, keeping the ball inside the Rangers half. Man on, screams 60,000 Celtic fans as Roof closes in on Iwata. Scales pushes the pass to the feet of McGregor. McGregor controlling everything for Celtic, takes it from Taylor, tries to thread it through for Taylor on the left, couldn't find him. Tavernier plays it to Raskin. Taylor nearly took that ball off Raskin. Raskin, very measured pass across his own half to Ben Davies. Celtic still chasing. Yilmaz on the ball, lofted one away to the right-hand side. 3 minutes to go. McCausland lets that bounce, has the pace, maybe to get away from Greg Taylor. Down to the byline. Cross comes into the near post. Scales is there again for Celtic. Clears it straight up in the air. Nice first touch from Tavernier. Mader's there, makes the tackle. Throw in for Rangers.
I mean, that's 2 or 3 times now. McCausland got to the byline. I mean, you're playing with 10 men. That shouldn't happen too often. So he's come on there and he's looked very, very sharp indeed. I have to say, Taylor looks out and his feet against him.
3 minutes to go. Raskin's cross. That looks a good one into the far post. Enough Celtic bodies in there to deal with it. Might break for them nicely. Ida's sprinting away again into the Rangers half. 1-on-1 against Sterling. Ida takes him on. First touch is a clumsy one. Sterling just kept his calm there, knocks it away from Ida, plays it back to Butland.
And once again, fabulous. Ida is lightning quick, but Sterling reads it, doesn't panic, plays brilliant defending.
Just over 2 minutes to play. West Ham Luton on the way. That's our commentary at 3 o'clock. 5 other games kicking off in the Premier League this afternoon. Luton and Burnley in danger of relegation today. Nottingham Forest Chelsea's our commentary at 5:30. Celtic closing in on the win. Great effort from 10-man Rangers this afternoon. Butland's ball forward, headed up in the air, drops down inside the Celtic half. Ralston brings the ball away for Celtic into the Rangers half to tumultuous roars. Tries to take on Ben Davies, does too much, and it comes back to Butland. About 90 seconds to go, Pat.
But there was so much space ahead of him. Ida was on his own, Maida was on his own, but he wasn't able to find either of them because he's so left-footed and he couldn't get it on his left foot because it was on the right.
Kemar Roof wins a header, nodded it away to McCausland. The tiring Taylor, all he could do was knock it out of play for a throw into Rangers.
He's running on quicksand.
Absolutely.
Absolutely exhausted.
Right, throw in for Rangers. Desperate need of a goal here, otherwise the title is all but over for them. Tavernier tries to make his way through a couple of challenges. Ball gets away from him. Celtic clear it into the Rangers half. Butland comes up towards the halfway line. That is a massive up and under on the half volley from Butland. Ball comes down from a steepling height, bounces in the right back position twice here for Ralston. Scott Wright's putting the pressure on, and eventually Ralston clears on the turn up to the halfway line. What a touch by O'Reilly. He's offside.
Miles offside. We come in for a terrible offside position, but once again, in the dying seconds, a chance to pump it into the box. Butland's desperate. He's itching to get back up again, but he's not able to.
Here it goes. Ball forward. Kemar Roof nods it into the Celtic box. Manchester City have scored a 4th, I believe, at Craven Cottage. They lead Fulham by 4 goals to 0. And it's a throw-in, which Tavernier takes for Rangers. Celtic fans now desperate for the final whistle. Miscue clearance from Iwata. Ben Davies heads it back to Yilmaz here. 10 seconds to play, and then it's up to referee Willie Collum on any extra time he wants to add on. Rangers still have it. Cross comes into the box. McCausland nods it down. It's behind Tavernier. Not long left for Rangers. Raskin's curling ball into the far post. Flick header out of the penalty area. Celtic fans still baying for the final whistle. Scott Wright's cross comes into the box. McGregor heads it away. And that's that! Celtic get the win. They can almost taste the title. It is nearly theirs. 1 more point will do it with 2 games to play. And even if they don't win either of those last 2 games, if they lose them both, they may still get it anyway. 10-man Rangers gave it everything at Celtic Park this afternoon and really gave Celtic a fright late in the game. But it looks like Celtic are heading for a 12th title in 13 seasons. They've beaten their greatest rivals again by 2-1.
Yeah, on the day, Celtic were the better football team, and over the season they probably have been as well. But Rangers have fought and battled and chased as much as they possibly could. It's not over, as you say, yeah, but today almost epitomised it. The slight lack of professionalism there are in certain parts of this Rangers team where you don't get that with the Celtic team. Celtic 2-0 up there, deservedly 2-0 up, played some beautiful football, but Rangers showed the fight and the battle back. Well done to the manager, making sure that they've got players that are improving under him, and that is definitely the case with on the right hand side with certainly Dujon Sterling's been brilliant today, and there have been a number of others, but in the end it's secondary. They've not quite been good enough today, and a lot of talk about a lot of different things, but in the end there's not one Rangers fan right now who's got Lundstrom on their Christmas card list. Had he not been sent off, who knows what would have been happening today.
Jubilant Celtic fans celebrate all around us. This is how it stands at the top of the table. Celtic 87 points, 6 points ahead of Rangers on 81. Celtic's goal difference 7 better, plus 59 to plus 52. They've scored 87 goals and Rangers have only scored 79. Celtic are nearly there. Celtic 2, Rangers 1.